Caution is advised.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Geek It Out, and here is another freaking live stream. And we got the boys in, especially our boy Aries from 6 Scale Cantina. Say hello, Aries.
What's going on, everybody?
Hi, Aries.
Hi, Aries.
Hello.
Hey, we got two more people here. We got Boz and Don. Guys, it's been a wild week. It's been a wild week. Last week, right? Or coming up to this week, man. We got figures selling out. Then we got freaking the Snyderverse getting canceled again, and then we got the possible new figures coming out. It's getting crazy out there, man. Shoot, we don't even have time to do anything anymore.
So what is this about the Snyderverse being canceled again? I missed that one. I've been busy.
Well, with the supposed success of Snyder Cut, the WB is like, you know what? We want to move on from that and move on towards towards our own stuff and let go of the Snyderverse.
Yeah, well, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So HBO Max, they actually today announced that Wonder Woman 84 actually has more views than Snyder Cut. So I don't know if they're trying to justify their views, but how long has Wonder Woman been on HBO to view? And then Snyder Cut's only been available for a few days, and it's a 4-hour movie. So, I mean, what point does the view count as an official view?
It was 30 days, and then they took it down, and I don't know if it's back up or not. For Wonder Woman, that is.
Yeah, if they're trying to compare it to the Wonder Woman movie, that's not even reasonable, like they're saying.
They shouldn't be proud of that movie either.
bad, boss, bad.
Hey, the first one was great, man. That last one was garbage. I'm sorry.
I haven't even seen 84.
The saving grace is that you get, the Mandalorian in it. He gets the guest star.
Second one could have been better. I'll tell you that much. It could have been a hell of a lot better.
Could have.
I didn't see the Wonder Woman 84, but you guys spoil it for me.
You're okay. Good for you. Good for you, Aries. That's the one you don't need to watch. That's the one you don't need to watch. Spare yourself an hour. 2 hours? Is it 2 hours of craziness?
In Snyder Cut, what you can do to watch that quicker is whenever you see Cyborg, stop the movie. Steppenwolf, stop the movie. Watch those parts. And Flash, watch those parts. So that's where they really emphasized their cut and did some real work. The rest of the movies is still way too damn long now. And
hey, can I get it to not be in a box?
Nope.
It is not. I get why they did that, the whole IMAX thing or whatever it is, but
you gotta wait till the Blu-ray release, and then you'll be fine.
Will they do that with the Blu-ray? With the Blu-ray?
Yeah, they're coming out with a Blu-ray release for it. So
that
should be a nice package.
No, watch the Blu-ray release is going to be 5.5 hours.
Able to see, I'll be able to skip scenes and parts I want to watch, and not watch 2 hours of slow motion and particle effects.
Oh man, you almost got me there, Dodd. You almost got me there.
Yeah, no, watch. They're gonna the Russos will merge Infinity War and Endgame into a 6-hour epic.
6-hour epic. Get out of here with this, man. But yes, guys, before we head on to those other subjects, I really want to talk about today, especially we got 6 Scale Cantina in the house. Man, what is going on?
Drinks on the house.
Drinks in the house. Of course, drinks in the house. Yes. What is going on with the world where we cannot trust Star Wars to last more than 6 months? Come on. No, just last for a bit.
I thought you got some.
I got 3, of course.
You're on the wait list. Why are you on the wait list?
What's up?
It says you're on the wait list. Why are you?
Oh yeah, I'm on the wait list, of course. If I get a 4th one, you never know. You never know. But yeah.
Look, I mean,
Aries, what you were saying? Yes.
I'm not surprised that this went on waitlist. Quite honestly, I mean, it's been in stock for a little bit. And you got the Incinerator Trooper as well. I actually thought that one was going to go on waitlist a little bit earlier than this one. It's a little weird.
We talked about it a while back that Incinerator Trooper should be the one going out first because there were so many pre-orders for the Death Trooper already. Because it was their chance to get their Death Trooper that they never got from Rogue One. You know?
Yeah, I mean, but I think that a lot of people are scooping up maybe, obviously multiple versions of this, and you have to wonder like how many they are. I mean, you don't have the I mean, this is going to go great with Moff Gideon, right? But he's not out yet.
It goes well with your Krennic. Krennic, he didn't even last
the Rogue One, exactly.
He didn't even last a week, right? He didn't last a week in Sideshow before selling out, and now that figure is going for like $350 to $450.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you look at it as like, if people are scooping up like 2 or 3 or 4 of these at a time, it's not like Qui-Gon is up in stock, right? I mean, who's buying 2, 3, or 4 Qui-Gons? No one really is. So, and this is like the Rogue One it goes for a lot. I mean, I should pull up what the market chart is right on my computer here, but it goes for like, it's in the $500 range. It's all the Rogue One figures are. So I'm not surprised. I mean, if you're looking for a Death Trooper, so this has some differences. It doesn't have the shoulder pauldron, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I actually thought though that the Incinerator Trooper was going to be out before them, but I think that one's coming next. I mean, I don't think that one's going to be. I think at the end of April, the Incinerator Trooper is going to be on wait list. That Vader's not going to be in there alone. Probably that ESP Fett.
Well,
it's limited one per customer.
Yeah, the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, they're going.
Actually, Boba and Vader, they were unlimited at one point, and then they got switched over to limited, and then Vader got switched over back to unlimited. So I guess they made too many Vaders for the ESB 40th anniversary, and Boba has that limited one per person. So if you're trying to get a deluxe Boba, that's your deluxe Boba right there. From Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I paid mine off early just to be sure, because if I'm getting one more Boba for the OT, that's the one I want. I'll get rid of my Sideshow one that's 6 years old.
Well, yeah, guys. I've been seeing some good sales from the Death Trooper right now, and the resale wise, they haven't been too bad. There's still a chance to try and get this for close to retail, because right now people have not jumped the gun yet on it being $350 or $450.
No, that's a good point, Nate. I was actually, really doing some deep research into this right after it went on waitlist, and there's not enough data right now to kind of say, where this is. So, I mean, I think right now, if people want this figure, they can get it pretty close to retail, or still in that $200 tier range. I mean, it took a couple days for that heavy infantry Mandalorian, and it took a couple days for Commander Cody, right? But both of those shot like way up, and I'm not seeing that with this yet. I mean, that can change later tonight, tomorrow, a couple days over the weekend, especially over the weekend. But yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot yet on this. Unless I don't know if Don is or Maz, but I'm not yet.
Maz, how many did you get for Death Trooper? You didn't get this guy?
No, I got the Remnant Trooper, and just when I do photography with these things, you need to be able to pose them, and you can't really pose them. So I got one Trooper right now. I'm going to get some Dark Troopers, but I didn't get any Death Troopers, and I guess I won't, unless you're going to sell me one later, Nate.
That could be possible if I get bored with my 3.
Yeah, or you're 4 because you're on the wait list for that 4th.
I just tested that out, and the systems are not picking me up that, hey, this guy got 3 Death Troopers in his order list. Why is he not cut off? No, cut off. The bar cutting you off today.
Hey, cash rules everything around you, right?
Say again?
I was going to say cash rules everything around you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whenever I'm on Sideshow, like I'm always trying to find my way to like push things back or get something extra out of it. Like, hey, Sideshow, what's up? Can you help me out real quick? And then they're always like, dude, you got like 130 figures here. Can you keep that down? Keep that down. That's how they be when they look at my freaking order list.
What's up, big dog?
Yeah,
But,
I got. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Don.
No, I got two Death Troopers from this run myself. I got one to pose next to my Rogue Run Specialist in Krennic, and then I've got one up in the Mando shelf next to the Incinerator Trooper. I mean, and like you said too, I figured the Incinerator Trooper would go quicker. So, I mean, that makes me wonder if Hottoys would even contemplate doing the Mortar Trooper, which would just basically be a repaint with a backpack and a mortar.
Yeah.
The yellow
I
popper.
would buy a Mortar Trooper though. If he comes with the mortar setup, I might would buy that.
Dude, I want the mortar setup. I want the mortar setup. I want the E-Web Cannon 2-pack Rogue One. Come on. Well, the Rogue One Troopers in the Mandalorian setup. Like, they got the E-Web. I want that 2-pack. That's the one 2-pack I want for Mandalorian. It's two of my boys, 2 Rogue One Stormtroopers with the E-Web blasting at Boba. That's what I want. Come on.
Oh, man.
Can we get that? Can we get that?
Yep.
Possible.
Come on, all 2-packs are coming out, but I don't know what Hot Toys is doing right now, but
yeah, the people are saying that they want a 2-pack Falcon with both versions of the Falcon. So that's impossible. The price tag on a regular Falcon alone because of those wings. Come on, that's no way.
I was surprised
No way for a
to
2-pack.
just to see Winter Soldier already announced. Though, to be honest with you.
You mean his regular look?
Yeah, the new one they just announced. What, yesterday, the day before?
Yeah. Let me show it off real quick.
Yeah, the one that looks like.
That.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he went into Stark's closet and took the old Iron Man 2 racing suit and, fashioned a jacket out of it. It's just got that look, the material and the color. That's what it invokes for me.
Either. It looks too squashed, the head sculpt.
The one thing... You know what else I'll also say? No, I actually don't mind the head sculpt. My only problem with it, he's too skinny. He is too skinny. Like, his build. Like, where happens to the fat suit? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't mind fat suits. But, there's places where you can use the fat suit. But here, he doesn't look bulked up like he was in the original IW version.
I'm looking at a couple of angles of this, though, and you wonder if it's... I mean, I don't see the fat suit either, but I'm wondering if the angles that they're taking some of these pictures, because he doesn't look as skinny in a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? On some of these, and some of them looks real skinny. I don't know.
It just seems like a lot of money for what you get. I mean, was he get the gun
But there's no fat.
the
It
gun?
doesn't.
And the gun in the stand? What do you get? Show us what you get, mate.
That's why disappointed. Like, this should have been an opportunity. If you guys want us to grab this Winter Soldier, they should have thrown in accessories galore. Even that, there's moments where we see a trench coat on the Winter Soldier. We couldn't get that. Come on, Hot Toys. There's moments where we got to see the trench coat. We couldn't throw in the trench coat.
Yeah, and especially with the arm, we're rumored to see that the show's going to, finally show us what his arm is capable of. Now, granted, they can't show it because it would spoil it, but there's nothing that even says, like hidden features or whatever, like they do, like with a Spiderman or, whatever other figure that's like, oh, bonus accessory coming. We'll tell you later. It's not even on this.
One machine gun, one dagger. That's it. That's all
if we see the next War Machine is going to be the Mark 7. So it's either they're going to introduce the Mark 7 into the Winter Soldier show or in the next movie. But at the Mark 7 War Machine might be coming. That's the next one. Because we got the Iron Patriot Mark 2 and the War Machine Mark 6 came out in Endgame. So
who's designing the Mark 7?
Rhodey / Pepper Potts, I guess.
Okay, so anybody can make an Iron Man costume now, so long as you knew Tony
Well,
Stark?
apparently Armor Wars got announced, so apparently everybody can make a War Machine, but an Iron Man suit.
I mean, don't forget, Justin Hammer essentially could build the suit. It's just his programming was crap.
Can he though? Because I mean, he had to hire Whiplash to build something, and then he was like, I want people
The
in it,
programming.
not drones. So
Oh, we got some of our peeps popping up. We'll
what's up,
see.
guys?
We'll see saying hello. What's up? What's up, Will? He's the one
Will?
that won the giveaway of the Rocky Funko base. He just got it about a week ago.
Nice. Yeah, things are taking forever to ship, man. I've been waiting on my screen for my printer since the 10th of March.
Yeah, well, did you see what's happened in like the Suez Canal? Like one of the world's largest cargo ship is stuck in the middle of the Suez Canal. It is literally parallel. It is blocking the flow of the entire canal. And that is one of the world's major shipping ports. I mean, shipping canals and, transit points. So if you think it's bad now, it's about to get a hell of a lot worse.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Hey, cut that off. Cut that talk off. Don,
I bring the real
we
shit.
don't want to hear the facts today, Don. Unless it's positive facts. But hey, Will C just asked, is it possible we'll get a reissue of the Winter Soldier buggy? Now, here's the thing, guys. The OG Winter Soldier. Now, we all thought about it. Well, us that's seen the first episode, when Winter Soldier OG popped up in the flashback. He had pretty much all the weapons going blazing, not all the weapons, but his signature weapons blazing through the walls. Do you think it's possible? Because I think we got four figures coming out from Winter Soldier, from what I've been hearing.
I don't like that one there. The Infinity War one? Yeah. I
actually prefer if you guys still have the Winter Soldier from Infinity War, you guys don't really need to pick up
I hate that hair.
Bucky from the show. I prefer this one over the Bucky.
But the hair is horrible. It just looks bad. I need to go see a stylist.
So
But no,
Don,
I mean,
what do you think? What do you think, Don?
I'm gonna be honest. I actually prefer the Infinity War one. The one that they're showing out, it just looks too bland. And like you said, there's no accessories. There's nothing to set aside from this one. The jacket's similar but different enough. Obviously, he's got a short hairstyle, but I mean, again, there's not that much difference. Like you're saying, though, if it was the one with the trench coat or some of the ones we've seen in the trailers when he's fighting with Sam, then that's a different ballgame. But this almost feels like a different version of the same figure, so to say.
I'll take the Captain America first Winter Soldier one any day over any of these ones so far.
That's what I'm saying, is that we might be getting a reissue of that. We might be getting a reissue OG version because of that flashback scene. And if we get more flashback scenes with the Winter Soldier popping up, tearing up the streets, we might get it. I'm saying we might get the reissue of the Winter Soldier. Hell, if we got the sort of reissue of the Nightmare Batman, we are gonna come on.
I mean, but the thing is it will be in the TV series, and it won't be quote unquote a straight reissue because obviously he doesn't have the mine gun that he shot where it blew up Fury's SUV. But yes, like as far as the other weapons,
Fury's SUV. When did this happen?
Civil War.
What? I haven't seen.
Not Civil War. Yeah,
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Now the only thing is he going to come with his face shield? Again, that all depends on future stuff. But I think it's easy. And again, it's not going to technically be a reissue because just like Nightmare Batman's not technically a reissue because the original one was an MMS. This is going to be a TV figure release.
I don't see where that plays into a big deal, but yeah. Now, see, that's my Winter Soldier. That's the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. it is possible that we might see an OG version to be sort of an update 2.0 of this version.
But I wouldn't buy Marvel anyway.
Because of that flashback. Aries, what do you want to say?
No, I mean, you got to remember, right now with COVID, I mean, Hottoys made the majority of their money off MMS, off of movies, and the theaters have been closed for quite a while, and now some of them are starting to be open and whatnot. But you're seeing a kind of change where a lot of emphasis are going to be on TV shows and content coming out on streaming services, like we're talking about here with the licenses on Disney Plus. So just that alone, where Hottoys, there's got to be excitement from the shows and an opportunity to come out with another character. So, when there's a flashback scene like that, and then, they already have a mold and they can make it kind of like, a couple, maybe little tweaks, which I kind of have to do maybe a little bit with that one, I could see it. I think they're going to be looking for opportunities, and even with the upcoming, the Black Widow movie, it's going to be released on stream as well. And, some of them aren't even going to be released in the movie. Some of them are just going to be released, some movies in the future, just on streaming services. So I think there's probably more of a potential now to get some of these like characters that, we got that Solo Mall, and he was in Solo. That was a motion picture for
2 minutes,
like 20 seconds. Yeah. Or whatever.
Not even 2 minutes, like 20 seconds.
Not even 2 minutes. So I think, I mean, Marvel's hot now again, and people are excited, and they're going to be, and even when a lot of people start going into the theaters, there's going to be still a lot of people that are going to be like, I'm going to stay home for a while. Let's stream it, which is why I think, in a way, they're also offering it both ways. So I think there's probably, what I'm saying, more possibilities now for stuff like that than there would have been 2 years ago.
Oh, true that. What do you say, Maz?
What?
What'd you say about all this, man? I know you don't have much of a vote on this because you pick and choose what you want, of course.
Yeah, I don't really do the Marvel game. I mean, I love my Marvel movies, but I don't buy the figures really because it's a black hole, and I've already fallen down one of the black hole with Star Wars and the Mandalorian. So financially speaking, I'm really going to try to stay away from it. But if I were to buy one, I'd want the OG Winter Soldier. That'd definitely be the design.
You see, this is also another theory of mine. The reason why this Winter Soldier is so bland, because they're going to introduce the 2.0 Winter Soldier. I'm telling you, because they know no one's going to buy this. It's going to sell out quickly because no one's pre-ordering it. The batches for this one, I've heard so many people saying it's going to be a pass. It's also going to be a pass for me. The only reason I may go for it is the fact that I'm going to spend $250 on a head sculpt. That's it. That's the only thing that's going for me. Is just the head sculpt. That's it. So
it's not my favorite head sculpt though. It's just kind of.
I like it because it's different. So.
Yeah, and I think in a way, I mean,
Aries,
isn't this? Maybe I'm wrong, and forgive me if I am, but isn't it just 6 episodes? And I think it's one season, right? Like there's a one-time deal with this, right?
Yeah, it's basically a mini series that's going to branch out in the actual different series. But the things are, I think those are also going to be mini series as well. Like Armor Wars is like going to be a mini series. Secret Invasion is going to be a mini series.
Oh
so
my
these
God.
are all these are going to be like 5 to 7 hour self-contained stories. But they lay the seeds for so many different things, but then they're all connected to the other shows and then the movies going forward.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense. And in a way, those mini series are kind of like cut little quarters or 1/6 of a pie of a movie, and you kind of, put it like you could take So,
I mean, based on runtime alone, this is almost like with Sam's trilogy, because when you think about the money, the time, the effort, all the stuff, they're treating this like a movie itself. So this has the runtime of a trilogy, a Falcon trilogy.
Oh, Will C just asked. Well, he commented. Let me see. Let me set this up like this. Yeah. With all these rumored delays that the Disney Plus shows lined up, how would this affect Hot Toy production lines for Star Wars?
It won't.
Current figures, they need to make the money now. So if they know there's a rut coming, they're gonna get what they can now. They'll focus on, Marvel, DC, any other new licenses, and then when production ramps up, they'll go back to their bread and butter.
Because here's the thing, though, like we do see there was sort of a delay because look at the figures that are up for pre-order. Some of them are 2 years, and some of the ones that came out earlier, early and towards the late of last year, those were coming out a literally year and a half, 2 years down the line. So if we do get another delay, that's going to be sort of what's going to happen. Pre-orders is going to line up for a 2-year mark just to cover that gap.
Well, I've been waiting on Pennywise for 2 years. I mean, it's nothing new.
I actually would prefer Pennywise to take as much of the delays as possible. I hate that figure. That figure scares me.
I pre-ordered it, so I would like to buy it eventually.
I'm actually tempted just to buy that figure because I actually live in Derry.
There you go.
So
I didn't realize that was in a fictional town, but awesome.
We're in New Hampshire, but yeah, it's just one of those kind of weird, ironic things, and we'd only be like 30, 40 miles from the real town.
That's Pennywise Hot Toys, man. Do your job right. That's a statue.
I do apologize. Our producer my producer is learning the ways. Okay.
Stop being bad.
Also, my producer Gabriel Cruz, he's in the live, so he's been helping me out picking out stuff.
Don't blame your producer. I know it's you. I see you over there typing.
What do you mean? My hands. Look at the computer. Look at my hands.
There you go. There's Pennywise.
There's a Pennywise. Yeah.
He's supposed to be out right about now, but we haven't seen anything from him yet. This is why I've only put down a deposit.
But yeah, the Pennywise looks great. The only reason why I did not pick up this figure is because they didn't give me the dying lights, head sculpt. If they had done that, it would have been on for me. It would have been the figure for me.
Oh, well.
I still think they cheaped out. They should have went with the full book, not certain things involving the kids that were in the book, but as far as the full transformation of the alien to the spider, they should have went full bore out. And now that if they did the spider version of that, I think that would be a lot more attractive because it's one of those. What the hell is that? It's almost like a centerpiece, a talking point to a collection.
Aries, are you planning to get this?
Oh yeah, no, I'm actually not. No, but I tell you what, it's they do such a good job. I mean, to pick this up, it's kind of like what Maz said. And I talked about this, last week in the show, but I try and keep really focused because I have spiraled out of control in the past, and it wasn't pretty, and then it gets not fun. So it's like everything with Hot Toys, you're looking at this, and it's like, yep, looks good. Everything Marvel looks good, and like Maz was saying, there's so many of the Marvel figures, and then.
It's a whole.
It's a whole. And then the same thing with DC. It's like, oh, wow. Then you look at that black suit Superman, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? But I think,
I like his
if I change the focus of my collection, then that's a different thing. But for right now, no. It's hard. It literally is hard to kind of stay away from some of these figures, especially with Hot Toys and even some of the statues that come out. But I try and stay focused in, and that way I can at least, have fun with this.
I was really tempted to get the Alita figure, but and that wouldn't have been too far outside my wheelhouse. The problem the thing that I used to tell myself not to spend the money was that she had sculpted hair, because and it looks great on her, but you want to pose her in that with like the handstand or some kind of flipping or something, and you want that hair to look naturally falling, not just sculpted straight down. And so I was like, no, I can't get that figure because I'd want to do too many crazy things with her, and that hair would drive me nuts. So that's how I talked myself out of it.
There you go. Gabriel Cruz on the job. Look at that. He pulled up the Ryan Lita. You see, you see, Boz, are you happy now?
Yep.
Are you happy now?
Great deal, man.
Yeah, well, I fell down that hole, last night when I grabbed it's the third party, the Transcendent, the Justice League Superman with the extended body that actually, towers over the Hottoys one, but it has better proportions.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I'll pick that up because it does look great though. I'm tempted. Because
can Gabriel find that one?
No, I gotta find that one. Don't worry, I'll find that one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own any DC figs, and it was one of those things. And again, without going into spoilers, watching certain things, and I'm like, if I'm gonna have one, I want to get the Superman that I want, and then I'm going back and forth. It's like, so Nightman Batman, he has the same damn jacket as the previous issue, so it's going to have the same issues. Granted, you can protect and 303 it, but it's one of those things, if you're dropping that much money, you shouldn't have to worry about that based on what they use for material. So now I'm going back and forth. It's like, well, do I get the 2-pack or do I spend the equivalent money on, getting the third-party Superman and then pre-ordering the DX, the DX Bale Batman? Because it's I've absolutely loved Bale Batman. I love the suit. I love everything about him. Affleck's great. It's just one of those times, especially when you watch them at a certain point in your life, they have a bigger impact on you than, say, another Batman, even though they're great. So it's just like that personal choice. And I'm like at this point tempting to just go with the Bale Batman, and then use the Cavill Superman. Because for me personally, those are the two best iterations of those characters. Again, that's based on, when you see them, what you're going through, what they meant to you. So it's all subjective.
Well, yeah. I got something to add to that. So first, I want to commend you on the Big Trouble in Little China that you're watching.
Thank you.
And then second, I also want to, as far as like Hot Toys and what I would buy for the DC lineup, we've already gone over my Frank Miller Dark Knight. That's what I would get for Batman. But if I were to buy a Superman, there's only two different Supermans I would get. One would either be the Dark Knight representation of Superman, the older Clark Kent Superman from The Dark Knight Returns, or the Flashpoint Superman, where he's what was his project name? Project X? Project Super? I don't remember. But he's just he's a scrawny Superman that hasn't never seen the sun, and he's in like the gory bodysuit.
Okay.
Those are the two Supermen I would go with. And the Batman, of course.
Yeah, it's just, I think this Superman actually, especially the way that Zack Snyder set it up, and he just seems more realistic, again, because every kind of Superman in the past, especially the Reeves one, it was kind of that, at the end, it was like that cheery, happy world.
Reeves Superman.
Oh, no, they're great.
Can we get a reissue of that, please, for the love of God?
Yeah,
please.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with the first two Superman movies. They are American classics. But you got to remember, at the time they were made, they were, and then versus now. I mean, again, I hate to bring it up, but again, it's the post 9/11 situation. When Man of Steel was made, that was still 11 years after the fact. We're still in two worlds. So this Superman is more realistic because it's supposed to represent, a more grounded, grittier, real world.
So how you feel about this, Aries? Because the thing is, there's always that situation where you're like, okay, I want to get the OG. I want to get the original figure. I want to get... but the thing is, in order to get that figure, you got to cuff up the cash, But then when you get versions like this, some good third-party versions of the figure, well, you might as well just save money and go for a cheaper version, which is still a good version.
No, it looks pretty good actually.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it until now.
Yeah, it's huge. And the bodies are proportionate. Yeah, go to like the last pic when it's got with the Logan, where he's towering over Logan.
But is there a picture like that?
Yeah, it should be the last one.
We'll see.
Okay,
I agree with you with the 3-0 Transformers because I went down.
Okay, too close.
Too close, a little too close.
A little too close.
Hey, there's a crotch. Get off the crotch.
No, you get off the crotch.
The head sculpt's a little weak though. You got another head sculpt to put on there?
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
you get two. You got the normal head sculpt, and then you get his pissed fire eyes, and with the light up LEDs in the joint, so it actually lights up with like the sound activated or tapping activated.
But yeah, I think that's my third party Logan over here.
I mean,
right here I picked up.
You just been wanting to show it off all day.
I mean, that's a hell of a figure.
looks pretty awesome.
It's a third party one. It comes with
How much?
Comes with the I got this for $100 on Facebook. True story. Everything for $100.
If only that movie was any good.
Here's the thing, though.
It
I wouldn't mind. I usually, if the figures come out great, I usually pick them up, even if the movie was trash.
Yeah, we'll see about your 3-0 Transformers line. Well, yeah, you might want to prepare your wallet for the Shock Transformer 7 was just announced. $200 million budget. They are filming in Canada, Peru, among other places. And it most likely will follow in the Bumblebee line. So, yeah, it sounds like they're rebooting the line to G1 following Bumblebee. So I'm preparing my wallet too because I want to see a legit Prime, with a trailer set up.
Are you saying you're going to skip the premium? Are you saying you're going to skip the premium Optimus Prime if they start working on the other Optimus for the newer?
I think it's going to be an updated version, but this one's actually going to have a trailer with it, almost like the Masterpiece ones. I mean, because the Hasbro Takara Masterpiece Optimus Prime, at least retail for the United States, is more than die-cast Iron Man. He's Masterpiece Optimus Prime version 3.0 is $450.
Jesus.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, it's to that point where some of these, that I think that price is way, way out of line. But that's what, the prices are gearing towards, especially with
the trailer, though. I mean, with the 301,
Hey, Gabriel, pick out that first one. That's like 500. Pick out that first one that's 500. Gabriel.
They can just do the full body. They can't do anything that transforms. They don't have a license to do a transforming robot for a transformer.
Who knows? I mean, essentially they're action masters, but again, if they're doing the Jetfire and it's going to have the deluxe armor that can go on to Prime, then that might mean there's interpretation or there's certain exclusions that can be made in the licensing. I don't know. But,
the biggest exclusion I saw was the Ravage. That's legit. You can kind of transform.
You just want to show off the Ravage, don't you?
No, it's the only one that can actually pseudo transform, but it's just a matter of folding his legs. That's it.
Yeah, but again, like you're saying, if they can't transform, again, they're essentially action masters. But if the Jetfire is going to have the ability to detach parts and then to go to arm up Optimus Prime, I might just pick. I'm gonna wait.
You need it.
Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'd rather if they do release the premium versions for the Jetfire and the Revenge of the Fallen Optimus, premium versions, not this one, not the regular versions for 209. I want the premium for both. I will get both of them, no doubt.
Well, they're also doing a Netflix version of Optimus Prime as well now.
Yeah, I got the Netflix version of Megatron coming.
Yeah, the Netflix, it's like Siege Optimus and then Siege Megatron. So but the weird thing is, it looks like high class versions of the Hasbro toy that you get at Walmart.
And they're shorter.
Ooh, look at this one that's popping up right here. I'm tempted Oh my God, I am tempted
that?
for that 518, baby.
Is it
Was that honey?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm tempted for this figure, bro. I'm tempted, man. Look at this. This would look great with my 1/4 Bumblebee. Well, the premium version.
Take a look at the Netflix one, because this one, the Netflix one, has LEDs not only in the eyes.
Like that.
Yeah, he has chest light up feature, like the matrix inside him is lighting up.
Man, now I'm really tempted to get.
Now, are these die cast?
Yeah.
They got die-cast bodies, but they do have some plastic plating on them too, particularly.
The joint areas.
But here's the thing, though: the light-up version is not premium, though. If they come up with a premium version for that light-up version, I'm going for it, of course. But I want this one right here. That one, the Revenge of the Fallen, but premium. That's the one they have it up right now. I want the premium version for that.
Why would
Revenge
you
of the
want
Fallen.
anything from that?
Yeah, the 179 collectible figure. Yeah, that's the Siege one based on the anime on Netflix.
But I might not pick that up, man.
Megatron. Can you pull up the Siege Megatron? Because that's the only way I'm going to get a Generation 1 looking Megatron, at least in robot form.
Well, if they come out with the premium version, I might.
I mean, I've got my masterpiece Megatron, the 2.0, and he looks pretty good.
Is he to scale though with the 3.0 Prime?
Well,
Yes.
these are all masterpiece, the Hashtag scale. So.
Oh wait, no, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all to scale. Like the masterpieces are all based on, they're kind of based on, the original interpretations of the G1 scale chart, and then, they take liberties because, parts forming, mass shifting, all that stuff. So it's not a truly accurate scale across the whole line, especially since they've technically rebooted it twice.
The Megatron's shorter than the Bumblebee Prime, the one that's the scale with these, the DLX series. So that's gonna be a problem. He's like an inch shorter than the Prime.
Aries, hold him back. Aries, hold him back. Don't speak the truth, Aries. Tell him not to do it.
Listen,
There's the War for Cybertron, Megatron.
Aries, continue.
So I got him on order.
everybody gets second jobs, third jobs. Come on,
Second mortgage
You
on
gotta
your house.
hustle.
You gotta
get
hustle.
that disposable income some way, one way or another.
Yeah.
$5 is $20.
And here's the thing, though, right? Like, you got to invest well in all of these. Like Nate, you're talking about, I'm not going to get this one, or I'm going to get that. You invest well. You can resell it. You look at a turd something over, and then I always say, if I know I'm going to pick up a figure, one of these higher priced ones at retail, and I think I'm going to be able to sell it in 2, 3, 4 years at retail, I a lot of times, believe it or not, stay away. I want to know that if I want to, I can at least maybe with shipping and tax or whatever else and time, if I can get $40-$50 on top of it, because you got to consider inflation, right? I mean, look at Hottoys right now. Everybody's like, oh man, that Winter Soldier's $250 or whatever it is. But in the world we live in today, and especially with COVID, those prices were never going to stay in this market at $220. Look what they've done with the Black Series. Not to get into that, everything's going to go up, but especially with these and smaller companies than Hasbro or whatnot, you're going to see that inflation quicker in this economic environment that we're in, worldwide right now. But I always look at figures where if I know, I like for instance, and if I wanted to pick up that Jet Trooper, that's on, Sideshow, that's in stock, I wouldn't right now, personally, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get retail back on that. I'm going to lose. And if I want to get into like this Transformer figure, or like Will saying, hey, I'm tempted because, we're all hanging out together and that's how this goes. You know what? Oh, that looks really good. I mean, we're into action figures. We're geeking out, man. Right. but if you're going to try and turn over your collection and you're going to be like, oh yeah, but I'm getting $20 less and $40 less than what I paid for it. Now here's the kicker. Now the retail companies are actually selling it for $20, $30, $40, $50 more like you're seeing with Hot Toys. So now you're seeing an $80, $90, $100 difference than when you bought it, plus inflation for yourself in your own life. So now it's kind of like really hard. So I think you got to like really pick and choose wisely.
Now here's,
you know what I mean?
Here's my question with you, though. Here's the thing. Characters like Anakin, both Anakins, the dark side and the light side Anakin. Dark side Anakin, he's a much rarer figure because he's limited. Nobody wanted these. Nobody. Even people on Facebook and eBay were trying to sell these, and they were losing money below retail. Literally $60 to $70 below retail, right? With free shipping.
Right.
So that's the thing, though. You gotta look even beyond the point where you're gonna lose money, but there's a point where you might even make even more money.
Well, let me ask you: when those came out, what movie was out? What was out for Star Wars when we got that dark side? And what was out at the time with the Revenge of the Sith, Anakin?
Solo.
Sequel.
It was Solo.
Right? It was Solo and sequel. So, right when the Last Jedi came out, quite frankly, and Solo, there wasn't any, Mandalorian, and there wasn't any like, hey, reboot, and the fandom's all happy again. Star Wars was going in a different direction since after Rogue One. You'd had The Force Awakens, which was pretty. Okay, it was a lot of people liked it. It was generally accepted. It did good. Then you had Rogue One. It was like, all right, here we're on a roll, and then it kind of, things started to shift, and then that's when those figures are out. And then sometimes that happens, even with characters as cool as Anakin or some of these other figures. It's kind of like, yeah, but I'm kind of down on Star Wars right now, or I'm not feeling it, and I don't want to buy any of these Last Jedi figures, or I'm not buying any of these First Order troopers and whatnot. And then what happened, though, guys? Then all of a sudden you get the Mandalorian. Things start happening. It's like, oh man, I remember the Phantom. I remember, Revenge of the Sith. There's Anakin. Man, I should have got that when that was there, and they want it now.
Anakin's price went up with Clone Wars Season 7. That's when that hotness started coming out, because that's when Anakin
it even started a little before with the finale of Mandalorian.
Well, maybe the hype of Clone Wars Season 7 then, because that's where you see Anakin turn. Spoiler. But
well, I can tell you this. When I was at New York Comic-Con in 2019, they had the OG Mando up for preview. That was the star of the show. Everybody loved that. Everyone was taking pictures of it. Yeah. Everyone was, just hovering around it because it invoked actual, like, OG original trilogy Star Wars vibes. It felt like a legit Star Wars figure, so to say.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things. There was such a vast difference in just the aesthetic between, the Disney figures for the sequel and then the Mandalorian. Because,
there you go.
Yeah.
Gabe got us up. Gabe got the photo up. Right? Good job, Gabe.
And then if you guys, you mentioned it before. I think Will brought this up before, and following up what you're saying there, Don. I mean, the other thing with this is that, so maybe some series are delayed. Maybe Mandalorian Season 3 is going to come out a little bit later, but, you do still have all of these series that are coming out, whether it's the Mandalorian Season 3, the Acolyte, the Obi-Wan series, the Andor series. Everybody knows that it's coming. Production's underway, but you also got the Bad Batch, and you got Book of Boba Fett coming, both this year. And what Hottoys focusing on besides the Mandalorian, they're focusing on the Clone Wars. They're focusing on the prequels, which goes really well with the Bad Batch, right? And then it also goes really well right now, the Mandalorian, because you still got the Book of Boba Fett and, Season 3. So I think that even where there might be a lack of waiting for some of these series to come out, and you got the Marvel series coming out, I think Hottoys is still going to pump out things for Star Wars that are Clone Wars Bad Batch related, prequels related that translate in their Mandalorian. That's why I think you're going to get a few more Mandalorian figures. I mean, you shouldn't. I don't think anyone really thinks that they're done with. They only came out with 2 figures for season 2, I think of. I mean, they had the Boba Fett and the Bo-Katan, but you know that they're going to be coming out with the new Mandalorian from season 2. They're going to come out with that Luke, probably the R2. They're going to come out with maybe another figure or 2 from the Mandalorian. Then you got the Bad Batch coming out, like I was saying, and the Book of Boba Fett. So I think that there's a lot. Coming.
You've got Bo-Katan. You have the Dark Trooper. You have the Death Watch Trooper. Yeah, like definitely those. The only issue that I potentially see is that if there's such a long wait, is there going to be a little potential die-off? Obviously, Clone Wars is going to be their bread and butter because if they're already, announced 4 or 5 different variants of the clones, again, it's just, slap a different batch of paint on it, do a different helmet decal, and you have a whole new clone trooper for minimal R&D and cost.
Especially the Bo-Katan, that look. They can do they could do another, I forgot her name, the other bounty.
Oscar Reeves.
Oscar Reeves. They without the head sculpt and just repaint it to her colors.
Yeah, easily. And I mean, they already have that Death Watch Mandalorian that's up on pre-order, and that seems to be actually, I've been looking at best selling wise, and it's doing better. It's
it's scaring me, bro.
Creeping up.
But I have not pre-ordered those 2 yet. It's scaring me. I need to pre-order 2 of them. I need to.
$25 down at least, man.
I'm just waiting for April 5th. I've got multiple coupons, and I've got multiple. That was that's the day my points for both the Beskar, Mando, and Child, and my heavy infantry hit. So I've got all that hitting on the same day. So it's like, well, plus with all the the rewards Sideshow was giving out, it's like, well, so I've got 2 $25 coupons and I'll have $95 in rewards. How do I want to do that? And then when IG-88 and FET ship, I'll have, again, 2 other coupons from that plus those rewards. So it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my codes. I'm waiting for my codes, baby.
I used my codes from last week and finally pre-ordered Grogu from Hottoys. The child. Good choice.
You got the life-size version, Mod.
Yeah,
okay.
the life-size Hottoys.
Man, I'm so tempted with that. That looks really awesome.
I'm gonna carry him around with me, man, to work and stuff. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be like, you guys want to buy Hot Toys, right? Instead of these Funko Pops.
I think I'm gonna wind up getting that. I really do.
Before we continue, let me just say, Moz, Funko Pops have been saving comic book shops, so chill out on the Funkos, okay? Give them respect. They've been saving the comic book shops because of them Funko pre-orders, okay?
So we
give some love for the Funkos.
We don't have any local retailers here in Atlanta that I'm aware of that sell Hot Toys new or resale. I mean, Plastic Empire had 1 batch at one point, but that was it. That's the quarter scale.
That's a quarter scale.
That looks pretty good too.
It still looks good. No, that's life size. What are you talking about? That's a life size.
That is a life size. Yeah.
Size?
Yep.
Yeah, that is a life size. What are you talking about?
Doesn't come with the prim. I don't know why it's got the prim. Weird.
Well, that's we wish it came with the prim. That's like the Uber Deluxe.
Doesn't even come with the bag they're showing there either.
I heard a lot of people with this. I watched a lot of reviews and they loved it. The only thing is,
the ears.
The complaint about the ears, but then a lot of the reviews I was watching, they were saying when you get it in person, it doesn't look.
Yeah, you don't really notice.
You don't really notice it,
yeah.
And I could see that. I mean,
and also it looks like wrinkles to me. Unless you point it out to me. Oh, okay, that looks like a seam, but it looks more like wrinkles from
there. You
looking
can't
at
tell.
it.
It looks like a wrinkle.
Yeah.
And the fact that the mouth can open, the way you can just pose it, I mean, it's pretty awesome, honestly.
I'm going to set him up in my photo shoot. I'm going to have him playing with my 1/6 Mandalorian. He's going to be like, doo-doo-doo.
Damn, if we were going to make this a Mandalorian talk, I would have pulled out my Mandalorian OG that I got from Don. and move Cody out the way. Cody, get out of here.
You should move Cody, man. Most of them came with a bum left shoulder and the antenna.
Well,
breaks
mine
off of
came
it.
out fine. What are you talking about?
You
My
got
Cody
lucky
came out
considering
great.
your Iron Man gave you a whole world of hurt.
Yo, that Mark 47. Oh my God! Don't get me started with the Mark 47. OG fan asking you a question, Aries.
Do you know when Sideshow reduces the number of payments, say like on the Trooper speeder bike from 5 payments to 3, Boba to 2-pack from 8, to question? Not really. I mean, maybe Honor Maz or Nate'll know better. For me,
yeah, I have a better idea.
Yeah, because what I usually do if I'm going to pre-order it, I'll put on the non-refundable deposit, and then I'll just pay it.
Yeah.
When they said, "Hey, you know what? Just getting ready to ship," and then I know in a week I gotta put in the money to do it. And that's usually how I do it. So I haven't really done a payment plan with them, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Well, Don, can you explain it better about the payment plan?
Just an example, I was on Sideshow the other day looking at the Batman Soups 2-pack. So just as a giggles, I went and said what 8 payments would be, and it said, take the deposit today, and that the first of the 8 payments would begin in January, and then you'd make a payment every month, January through August. So I'm going to assume it's based on the earliest month that they assume it in, and just work backwards from there. Again, that's just based on what I saw. Again, it also could be the price. It's a $500 figure, so they might not allow 8 payments on something that's $295 or $250. So again, just base it on the date of the earliest date what it's going to go in, and then figure 3 or 4 payments for anything under $350, and then if it's like $500, figure the 8 payments is from 8 months from the earliest date they anticipated at.
And their payment scheme, I mean, all of these sites, the payment scheme, it seems like a great concept to use that, but really you're kind of screwing yourself, because you could just put it in a savings account and let it earn interest until you have to make a payment.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're only making 1 or 2 payments at $50, $100, that's not even when you compound and the things. Yeah, that maybe gave you a half a cent of interest.
On that occasion, yeah, but otherwise, the other thing you got to worry about too when you're making a payment is maybe when it hits you for that payment, you aren't ready for it. And why put it on a credit card when you could just save the money in your
Well, that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah. That's a whole nother issue. I mean, if you're playing in this game with this type of money, you need to have your finances in order. You need to have your house in check if you're going to play like this. So, no, I'm just saying no. But it's one of those things. If you're going to play the game, you need to know what you have. Like, you need to make sure everything else is well taken care of in advance. Like, it's almost, I hate to say this, but you almost have to have like a separate piggy bank just to indulge in this stuff. And then when you get to a point that you want something new, you sell something you don't want anymore, so it becomes a separate economy, so to say. Yeah, that's
part of the game. But that is part of it.
I don't sell anything.
Yeah, but yeah, I think.
Here's the thing, though. OG fan just said, well, you have to budget when you have 30+ figures on pre-order. It's Excel sheets. You got to run those Excel sheets, baby.
Yeah, but I'd rather know where my money's going at all times instead of like that mysterious charge you forgot about.
Yeah, and I get that too. I mean, that's why, like, for me, I don't really do.
Oh my God!
A whole lot of
internet is messed up.
Yeah, but I really don't do a whole lot of pre-orders, unless it's something like where I really feel like, okay, I need to pre-order this because I'm not going to necessarily trust secondhand, the comic shop getting it from Sideshow for whatever reason, or if it's a Sideshow exclusive or some other factor. I usually kind of wait till the final production photos and say, okay, you know what? I still have the money. I budgeted for it. I knew it was coming out. I didn't splurge on something
Aries.
else.
You
But
scare me, Aries.
I don't.
You scare
But
me.
I don't
You
need
scare
the.
me.
I don't want waiting 3-4 months for the figure. I mean, I'm. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well,
I know some
well,
people
the
get it
thing is-
earlier, but I'll wait.
There's some figures that you don't play around like that.
No.
figures
Some
you
of them
gotta
I do, but not
pre-order.
all of them.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
instance, the Bo-Katan. I'm going to get the
Yeah.
Bo-Katan, but I don't see any sense of urgency for me to go ahead and take $25 right now and put it on there. Now, is that going to put me out of the first batch to second batch? Sure, it's going to, because look at where, I mean, the people are, it's being ordered, but I don't think that there's any real danger that that's not going to get in stock. You know, that's going to get in stock. But, you know, when I looked at, for instance, the Deluxe Boba Fett, using that as an example, and we've talked about that, that's a little weird to me. Everything about that's weird. They're not offering Tamora Morrison figure by itself, and everything was just a little strange with that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get it here. I don't really know how this is going to go. It's a little odd. Why are you offering one figure by itself? I mean, you got a Han, and for instance, you got a, you know, in the past, you got a Leia and Wicket 2-pack. You can get Leia by herself. You can get Wicket by itself. You get a Tarkin and Vader 2-pack. You get Vader by himself. You get Tarkin by himself. But this 2-pack, you couldn't get the Tamora Morrison by itself. So something like that, I went ahead and pre-ordered. For instance, also the vintage color Boba Fett. I pre-ordered that because you could only get it at Sideshow. So it depends on what it is. But like Bo-Katan, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm going to get it, but I don't feel like I'm going to miss out if I don't give them my $25 now.
Well, the Boba Fett only having the head sculpt with the 2-pack makes sense, because once he gets his armor painted, or actually once he gets his armor, he doesn't take his helmet back off in the show.
He doesn't. Actually, he does. He does.
He does once.
In the Bill Burr episode, he takes it off for a minute to look at the hologram.
Okay, I stand corrected. I'm off.
But to your point, though, Maz, he's not going to. I have thought about what, you know, similar to what you're saying. He's not probably going to put on, even though he's back on Tatooine, I don't think he's going to put on those robes again in Jabba's palace.
He's still wearing them. They're underneath the outfit now.
That robe? Well, I think he's probably got that robe off, or isn't it pants, right? Or he's got like parts of it. It kind of looks.
It's like a mixed bag of the robe. Yeah.
What is that actually? That's a good question. What's exactly?
It looks like it almost looks like what's called, I think, if I remember. Oh God, I can't. I don't even want to say it because if it's wrong. But like in the desert, like the nomads, it's almost like a cross between like pants, but it also has like the comma, the protective
like a
area
turban
around it.
So that's what he's wearing underneath the armor right there. That from that shot he's got there. Well,
yeah, just not the cloak.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the thing is, but his armor is also built into that now. Like his shoulder pads are actually, attached, not to like where the cloak would come out, but to the to where the shoulders are of the actual shirt for the new armor. Look,
dude. Yeah, this was a very strange figure. Figure like usually we don't see 2-packs this impressive before, but also the fact that the only way to get the Tamora Morrison head sculpt is through the 2-pack at the moment. So I think Hottoys is playing the big brain moments here and making you think you have, like I've mentioned in the last stream with you, Aries, they're giving us the illusion of an option, but really we don't, because we all want to go for the Tamora Morrison head sculpt, and the only way to get it is dropping the big bucks.
I don't think the painted version's going to have that. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, Moz.
I'm just saying, I don't think the painted version is going to have the head sculpt. I don't think you're going to see.
I agree with you.
Without his helmet on again.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have it either. And I think that's now you're going to get a lot of Tamora Morrison head sculpts, I think. But
Boba Fett one?
I don't think so. I think that this is it. I'll mention this. I think what they're going to do, I think there's a possibility, we're talking about when they come out with that clean version armor of Boba Fett, they're going to do it. And whether they put it out for this Mandalorian season 2 or they make it a Book of Boba Fett version, it's kind of like, hey, they just started the Winter Soldier, and they came out with that figure, this week, and we're in the first episode. So when's the Book of Boba Fett going to start? December something? So let's say they come out with that clean version of Boba Fett, argument's sake, at the latest November. They're going to come out with it, this year. If they come out with it this year, and they gave us a Tamora Morrison head sculpt, which I'm guessing most of us here, like I was saying, we don't think we're going to get it. That directly competes with, because people will say, hey, I'd rather have the clean version of Boba Fett. I don't want this deluxe version with the worn out armor. I'm just going to go ahead and get the clean version with this Tamora Morrison head sculpt, and it's more economical for me. You see a lot of collectors will do that, and I think Hottoys knows that. So I think you're right, Nate. I think that this is the only time you're going to get the Tamora Morrison head sculpt with that figure. But I think what they could do is give us 3 options, kind of like what they did with the Emperor. Is they can give us, we're all wondering if they're going to come out with a head sculpt with this clean version of Boba Fett, and I don't think that they are. What if it's a 2-pack? What if they gave you what if they gave you the clean version of Boba Fett with the throne? Or they gave you a 2-pack of that Pheonix Shand with that Boba Fett and the throne as like a DX or a deluxe set, and then they give you the option of you can buy Pheonix by herself, and you can buy Boba by himself, and now you have to, because there's still going to be some collectors that'll buy the set, even though it'll be a high price point. I know it'll be high if they give you, depending on how they engineer the throne. If the throne is made out of foam, though, guys, if the throne is just material, that it ain't going to be that expensive, and you can piece it together. It doesn't have to.
I'm printing my own throne here as soon as my printer's back on.
Yeah, you guys would know way better than me on that. It doesn't have to be so high, the price. But I'm thinking that's where they're going to throw people for a loop, and they're going to be like, oh, you see, you're not giving us a head sculpt with that, but they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, but we're giving you another figure with it. We're giving you Pheonix, or we're giving you this throne. I think they're going to do something like that. Possibly.
I better not tie Pheonix to him, man. I would rather buy her separately.
Hottoys knows we're a captive audience, and they're going to start playing off that, especially given the current economic situation. They're going to go for every dollar they can, and at this point, they know what the collectors are. They know people who collect their figures, especially, in the West, North America. We have discretionary income, that some people don't. So they also know we're willing to spend more on certain characters versus others. And that, it's the same for every person. So they're going to start exploiting that even more. And it's, if you want to play, you got to pay. That's the only option.
That's a great point, Don. I think that they might be pulling that card right now, Nate and Moz.
It's gonna be very interesting down the road. Like, definitely Toy Fair exclusives. I'm definitely looking forward to what they want to play, because there's so many figures they can drop just for the Toy Fair exclusive to show off. You know what I mean? There's so many possibilities you can run that Toy Fair exclusive racket.
Don't forget about the original trilogy, though. Too, when you're talking about those Toy Fair exclusive, those con exclusives, because even when Star Wars wasn't hot or it had controversy or this and that, they could always go back to the OT. They still probably going to put out. They have that quarter scale Darth Vader. Are they not going to put out a 1/6 scale?
1/6 scale return. 1/6 scale Return of Jedi Darth Vader. We need the ESB line complete. Come on.
That's got to be a no-brainer for them. People are going to buy that probably, right?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, one thing I could have they ever done an ESB Stormtrooper? Now, granted, they're all in the movie for about 3 seconds in the total concept of things, but there's never been an ESB Stormtrooper. So
That's a good point.
Is it really different though? I mean, I haven't studied the movies.
I'll be honest with you, I've never actually decided to look that in depth. I don't know. I get there's probably differences again in variations, and you might have some original suits, and then some suits might have had to be recast or completely remade. Because I know
here's the thing, Don. If they do go with an ESB trooper, they're probably going to be just the snow trooper again.
No, like in Bespin when they ambush Han.
You're talking about. I know you're talking about the Bespin trooper, but I don't. If they're going to come out with more troopers, it will be more in line with the Rogue One figures. At this
I know
point.
what they're going to give you, Nate. They're going to do it just for you for a con exclusive. They're going to give you Lobot.
I hate you. Stop it. No Lobot. I swear to God, if we get a freaking Lobot before we get anything other than ESB Han, I'm going to be pissed.
They'll give you Lobot with an Ugnaught, and then that'll give you an opportunity for them to make Quill and off that mold. Come on.
No. Don't you dare bring it up, Gabe. God damn it, Gabe. Get that face away from me, man.
That one I would pre-order day one. That one I would pre-order day one for sure.
No.
He's gonna come with the gray stand, from like the that originally was shown with the Death Star gunner. He's gonna have his own little computer display stand.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Hey, come on! That Death Star gunner goes for, a lot.
I can't believe it, man. Come on.
The funny thing is that I saw that was one of those figures. I'm like, yeah, I can live without it. For some people, they need it for completionists. For me, it was like, yeah, it's nice, but it's taking up space.
Most of the same people that were calling out for a gunk droid are calling out for Lobot.
Do you know that figure, you brought up a gunk droid and that Jawa, it's actually... It's trending down in the secondary market. It's actually selling for less than what Sideshow has it on list for.
I hate OG. Look at this. Release the Lobot.
Number one trend.
Oh God, it's driving me insane.
Hey, they could release Jar Jar. That would do good.
Actually, I wouldn't mind picking up Jar Jar.
I would pick him up. I would pick him up.
I wouldn't mind picking up Jar Jar. No lie. True story.
I'd have to see it. That's one of those. I'm tempted, but it depends how much crack I've smoked.
At the time of the pre-order.
Exactly.
Hard pass for me, guys. Hard pass on me, man. Jar Jar for me.
Now, We'll See did drop a very good question I wanted to bring up, but we were in a tangent. Have you guys ever bought a figure out of hype and loved it in hand? For me, it was the Solo Maul.
It's for me as well. Solo Maul, definitely. Or a Mandalorian, even. Any of the Star Wars ones I picked up.
I'm going to go Infinity War Machine Mark IV. The thing is a beast. The digital camo on it is insane. It's just, I know the Mark I is absolutely, armored to the teeth. But this is it was designed from the get-go to be a walking armory. And it just screams War Machine. Actual Stark tech given a, Brody. Not a mishmash.
How about you, Aries?
Obviously I think we all have. I'll admit, I did fall with the Solo Maul. And I got it and I was like, dang, I couldn't believe how good it was. And I think in a lot of ways, because I have the DX16 Maul, and I'm like, man, in a lot of ways it's better. Now, for me, I love the Phantom Menace a lot. I saw that probably in the theater 23 times, just in the theater. So I love the movie, and I love that. I love Maul, but if I had to choose which one, it would be the DX16 just because of the iconicness of it. But as far as this being just as good of a figure, it is. And it's different. The robotic legs are awesome. You can kind of I was surprised. I mean, even the detail to the legs and the material they use for the clothing, I thought it was going to be pleather, but it's not. It's some kind of weird, shiny, like they painted something on or whatnot. It's a good figure. I would have liked, the only thing I wish they would have done, and I don't know why they didn't, because they're calling it a DX version. I have no problem with them calling this a DX version if they would have gave us a second head sculpt. I don't know why we didn't get it, but I don't mind it. It's a good figure. I was very surprised.
DX17 just to get the other head sculpt for this one.
Now, I know you guys might feel some way, but honestly, the Dark Side Anakin. There was a hype for it, little bit of hype for it when it was about to sell out, and that's when I bought it. And I didn't really like it because, honestly, at first I didn't like it because I wanted the light side Anakin. But the light side Anakin sold out. So I was like, damn it. Okay, so let me go for the dark side Anakin. And then when I finally picked it up in hand and reviewed it and unboxed it on the channel, I was like, dude, this is Darth Vader. This is prime Darth Vader before he went freaking machine Darth Vader, man. This figure is freaking beautiful. And
that's the thing.
I was looking up more videos, right? On people. Oh, hey, there's the mole from Moz.
I thought it was almost crazy when I look at the dark side Anakin, because I don't know exactly why they call it dark side Anakin, but I'm pretty sure at that point in Revenge of the Sith, that looks awesome.
That's the DX17 head on him, or the extra head.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's and I interchanged mine too. They interchange real well, but that's really Darth Vader. I think at that point the Emperor says, "Henceforth you shall be known as Darth Vader." So I don't think he was Anakin anymore there. I mean, he was Vader. So I think that people have caught on to, like, because usually when you think Darth Vader, you're like, okay, the helmet, the first time in Revenge of the Sith where, you know, he asks where Padme is, like, oh my God, it's Darth Vader. But he was actually Darth Vader before that. And I think that's what that figure represents, honestly.
True story, man. That this is the way. This is the way.
Pre-suit Vader for all, 3 hours that he was a Sith Lord without the suit.
Yeah. But but technically Darth Vader. So I mean,
absolutely.
It's funny.
If Palpatine gives you the title, you use it.
Jay-Z is in the house.
And that'd be imagine if they gave us another. Palpatine's in. I didn't flash the picture on my last video. I'll probably put it in the next one, but I mentioned him. But the Emperor's in the preview of the Bad Batch. So I'm thinking they're going to come out with an Emperor. If they were going to come out like a Revenge of the Sith type of Emperor, I think that would be,
it's supposed to be right at the transition. Like when, because again, from what we've seen from the Bad Batch, especially, from the trailers and them seeing in the trailer, them fighting other clone units, at this point, the Senate has, through the powers has already okayed, Palpatine's change to the Galactic Empire. So this is literally the military transition we are seeing at, quote unquote, real time, from the Republic to the Empire, and so Bad Batch might actually be about them being transitioned from, the Republic Special Forces to Imperial Commandos or, Imperial Spec Ops.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's an opportunity because I get people all the time that ask me, hey, you think they're going to reissue that Return of the Jedi Emperor? And I'm like, nah. Maybe way down the road, but not now.
They do a new version.
The 20th, wait, is it the 40th? 40th. The 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, kids, I gotta take off, man.
Oh, hey guys, Moz gotta go, guys.
I gotta go. I got some things to do here at 7:30, so I want to have time to use the restroom and stuff and get on that. So,
alrighty.
Thanks for having me, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
Good hanging with you, Moz.
Good to have you, man.
Yeah, but I think
Right.
there's huge potential for that with the Emperor. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting with the Bad Batch and some of the things that they could you know, intertwine with. But
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I think you'll see Bo-Katan in Bad Batch as well, and
yeah,
that'll
that's a
also
good
link
point.
to
Yeah,
Ahsoka. I mean, they're gonna tie. I mean, it's Filoni. He's gonna find a way to tie in all the Mando characters we're currently seeing. To especially if there's gonna be a delay. He'll write stuff to keep them relevant.
all
yeah.
right, hey guys, I got my boy. He's the producer of the show coming in, Gabriel Cruz. Let's get him in. He's been helping us with the
What's up, Gabriel?
What's up?
switches.
Half a day, everybody.
Yep.
Yo, Star Wars talk. You
This
guys,
is the way.
you guys are in my realm. I mean,
But yeah, I mean, I think that I think Filoni's doing a great job. I mean, you've seen some of the obviously the Clone Wars characters coming into Mandalorian. I think it just only makes sense, and then it's bringing a lot of excitement to the fandom, and for Hottoys it's fantastic because now and look what they're doing with these Clone Wars figures. Isn't it interesting that besides the Ahsoka one, although that does look like a regular human head sculpt, like real actor head sculpt, all these you look at the Clone Wars Anakin, that's Hayden Christensen head sculpt that they're coming out with the Clone Wars figure when they released that Obi-Wan Clone Wars one, which hopefully will be real soon. That's going to have the Ewan McGregor
con reveal. That's going to be a con reveal, of course.
Yeah, I mean they're doing
pre-order reveal.
They're doing life versions of cartoon characters.
Yeah. So if they release a prequel figure, I feel like that there's a lot of opportunity for if someone has like just a Clone Wars collection or just a prequels collection or just a Mandalorian collection, and you're talking about Don, how they're intermingling these characters. It's very smart because now it's like, oh, but I don't want that character for the Mandalorian, but I can use that character for the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of smart in a way because now you're and then you get like, oh, well, I wasn't going to watch the Mandalorian, but now I will because I really like Ahsoka. Or if they're bringing, yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, especially with Ahsoka though, she actually ties in technically through if you want to get into full semantics and stuff. So she has the full prequel trilogy era.
right.
She covers the era before the General Rebellion. When she was working with Pheonix Squad, and then she covers the end of it, the end of the OT, both by the end of Rebels. When she's in, searching with Ezra, searching for Ezra, but then that also ties back in directly to the Mandalorian. So it's one of those things. It's it's technically 3 distinct time periods within the elapsed saga period.
Yeah, and
Your
I think that
story's
what's
not
going to
over.
happen here with Ahsoka, guys, because a lot of people, there was a lot of talk, and I think it's a good point. That, hey, are they going to go ahead and change this head sculpt, which I think looks phenomenal, with what's her name?
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson,
Mhm.
yeah. So I don't think so because it's like this figure's coming out already this year. And then once that, gets in stock and they release all the batches, they can just go ahead and say, okay, well, now here's Ahsoka from The Mandalorian or from the Ahsoka
Yeah,
series.
I mean, and it's also supposed to be so different. When you see that, it's supposed to be younger. And when Disney does voice work, they base the character somewhat off the voice actor. That's actually Eckstein. There's no way you could try at this point try and say, well, that's going to be Rosario Dawson. I mean, it's a completely different facial feature. You're taking
head tails. Rosario's head tails are also shorter in the show.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, I mean,
There's a reason why they did explain it over. I think it was over Twitter or article online where they explained. The actual artists came out and said the reason why we had to cut the tails a bit shorter is because of stunts, stunt
Yeah,
coordinating.
I could
They
see
had to be
that.
better. Yeah, because it would have been all over the place, and then they didn't want to do the CGI. Now I could have seen them CGI the tails longer, you know. But I could tell, like, yeah, they didn't want to put the budget for that, especially when she's moving around all over the place. They got to get the CGI just right.
Yeah, so that's a lot of tracking and rotoscoping to once you start getting into all that stuff.
And I think for live action, I mean, it's not that much of a problem if you got to make a tweak like that, right? I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. I mean,
not me neither.
I'll be honest. I
didn't.
I was too busy watching the show to even notice, especially when she was going.
Yeah, I was like,
out those soldiers. Yeah, I was like, oh, she had her tails were too short. Okay, didn't make one bit of difference to me.
It doesn't.
You know, she's live action. She's.
I mean,
she's on screen. I'll deal with it.
It's the same. It's the same thing with what happened with like Luke Skywalker. As soon as you saw the green lightsaber, your excitement was already all the way up here. So you're like, I don't care what he looks like.
No. As soon as Kara went, one X-wing, I'm like, no, you ain't gonna do it. Yeah. And then it was like that was kind of I think that was like Favreau Filoni's like kind of tongue in cheek that like, yeah, we have the balls and we're doing it.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was.
And I'm sitting there watching the whole time when you have his back and he's like, going through all those dark troopers. And I'm like, are they going to go ahead and throw us for a loop? But it's not going to be him. And I said, they better not do that to me. But those guys wouldn't do that to us in retrospect when I look back. But the whole time they kept you on the edge, even though you knew it was him.
You knew it was him. Yeah.
And I was just like, what the heck?
The moment they revealed the hand, the moment they revealed that hand with the green lightsaber, I was like, that's him.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. Yep. That is it.
Dude, when he crushed that dark trooper like a soda can. You talk about redemption. I mean,
I'm telling you,
I was just wow.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's gonna be a Mandalorian Luke Skywalker with either a crushed up dark trooper part of the base or / 2-pack with R2D2. I'm telling you. I
think they'll do the 2-pack anyways and just include it, the crushed torso or whatever, like they did with the Mark 43 and the Ultron drones.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they're gonna do.
When do you think it's gonna come?
I mean, that might be a Toy Fair exclusive.
What's up?
I think that'll be a Toy Fair exclusive, a Mando Luke.
Man, really?
Yeah.
Toy Fair exclusive. Really? They're gonna flex
When's
like that?
Toy Fair again?
Summer.
I
don't know it went to digital. Yeah, it went to all online because they canceled the physical and presence again. So I don't know if they changed the dates.
Well, I know it's going to be con exclusive. I know it's not con exclusive, but con reveal. They're probably going to reveal that as a con reveal. The Mandalorian Luke.
New head sculpt or not?
With Hottoys' track record, it's probably going to be Return of Jedi head sculpt all over again.
Probably that's what I'm thinking, but I think they'll have some different paint application. The hair will be different. Probably the eyes.
Age them a couple of years.
They'll make some tweaks. Yeah.
They'll darken around. They'll just do minor modifications. Again, they'll just put a little more shading around his eyes, around his nose, and around his mouth. I mean, even in the Mando, he's still only 28, 29, so it's not like he's aged 15 years since we last saw him.
No.
In a legit Star Wars movie.
It'd be nice. If they throw in some of the deluxe edition version of the Luke Skywalker, where he's doing all those hairs and stuff. Throw in both the hairs into that freaking set, because he was still running around slicing and dicing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they give us another 1/6 Grogu, a different one than they gave us with the Beskar. I mean, because obviously at the end he has Grogu.
Like the hugging, where he's like molded that like attached to the arm or something like that, where it looks like he's grabbing onto Luke as he's holding him.
Yeah, that way you can pose him like by the elevator, pose him by like the elevator, and he's with R2 and he's got Grogu in the end, and that last. I mean, I can definitely see that.
Well, I mean, again, if they're going to do that, since they already do the backgrounds, that you can not the hard attachments that go to the back of the stand, but just like the cardboard cutouts, that angle. I totally could see them doing an elevator background for something like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Yeah, one of those backgrounds that you're talking about there. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of feeling that. I think that could be a con exclusive or Toy Fair, over the summer. I really do think though that they're gonna announce a couple of figures here in April. I do. I think. But yes, look. I mean, you got April, May, June. You got July. But I do think we're getting a couple of other. I don't think that. What was the last one? Bo-Katan, right? So
Bo-Katan, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the last one till the summer. I think we got a couple more.
Yeah, and now with Disney coming out and officially revealing the new moved around schedule, again, and I've said this before. I mean, I think the next one's going to be Black Widow. Again, she's already been previewed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And again, with Disney now officially saying, "Hey, it's coming to Disney Plus this date. It's going to be in theaters this date." Wink, wink. Her and Taskmaster, like Nate said in the previous chat, that's 90. That would be
97 and 98.
Yeah, 97 and 98 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when's that coming out? Like in April?
No, it got moved to the beginning of June, July.
Really?
Okay.
June, July. Ooh, damn.
Which is
but the issue, because the thing is, they are going to release it in theaters now as well.
So now those are MMS
still-
though, right, Don?
that'd be
Those are
MMS.
MMS or TS?
Yeah, those would be those are MMS because again, it's original. It's an MCU movie. It's planned as an MMS, not TV.
So they could release more TV figures
Mm-hmm.
before that.
Oh yeah, they could announce more TV
Yeah.
figures. Absolutely. They could announce Activision tomorrow.
Yeah, there's 4 confirmed. There's 4 confirmed Winter Soldier figures that are coming out. Yeah, I spoke to a friend of mine. It was confirmed 4. So we got already the original not original. We already got the new Winter Soldier, right? Bucky. Now we just need the Falcon with his red suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Falcon with the America colors. And then we might get the OG Winter Soldier as a reissue for the show. The 2.0 Winter Soldier.
Here's a wild card I possibly could also see being made. Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter, where?
Sharon Carter.
That's right. She is in the show.
It's apparently because, again, you got to remember, she used to work with JSOC, in the CIA, so she's still got connections and stuff. And the way they're writing her, they're basically she's got like bounties on her as well. They've already shown promo pictures of her wanted posters where it's specifically, like dangerous, do not, attempt to apprehend, trained by SHIELD, all this stuff. Because then you see in some of the trailers, she's kicking the crap out of dudes. Like 3-4 dudes at once, and she's kicking them. And she does the, the power knee where she kill someone if you literally did that in real life. You get the thrust momentum and you put your knee into somebody's face. Yeah, that's her.
So you're saying that we might get a Sharon Carter. I'm not saying we are.
I'm saying it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
Especially with all the focus now on, like we talked about earlier, on a lot of these streaming shows. Again, they're going to come out with a couple of figures in the beginning for the Black Widow, but that's still streamed too. So I think that, these figures that you're talking about, it's a very strong possibility, especially if these shows going over so well. I mean, there could even be, and I didn't get to see it yet, but I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on. I didn't get a chance to watch it through yet on WandaVision. Is there going to be more than just Vision and Scarlet with that series?
I think we might get one more. I think it was confirmed. It's 3 figures. So we already got the 2. No, 4 figures. Another 4 figures. So we might get the White Vision, the Nega Vision, and then
I heard that one.
And we might get the Endgame version / Infinity War version of Wanda, because she did appear that way in the first few episodes of WandaVision. So we still might get her.
Well, yeah, because if you remember how far have you gone into it? Because this part might be spoilers to you, specifically with.
I didn't know. I have to watch. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, because
Unfortunately,
when we were talking specifically about her Endgame Infinity War uniform in WandaVision, it is a massive spoiler area. So, yeah.
so but the point that so there probably is another figure or two coming, and then you have to also figure then with. I mean, do you guys think besides do you think besides Luke and R2 that we're done with the Mandalorian season 2? I mean,
All right, hey guys, continue. I'll be back.
because we still got Mandalorian to come out #1, right? I mean, they did tease, didn't Mandalorian?
Well, we still have to get the Scout Troopers.
Yeah.
So,
and you got Mandalorian.
I think.
Himself.
Because here's the weird thing, though. The amount of batches, especially for the deluxe Beskar set, has been through the production numbers on that are insane. That's going to be in stock for a little while. So, and at that point,
they're making a ton of those.
Yeah, does Hot Toys want to announce, the season 2 one, especially since they removed the swoop bike from Secret Base?
That's a good point, and I've I think that's kind of like, I think that's the same thing that's going on with a couple other figures like that ESB Vader, like what's taking so long for the Return of the Jedi one. I think that I think that's the same thing that's going on with Bespin Luke, quite frankly. With the Snowspeeder pilot Luke, which is also Empire Strikes Back up on pre-order, and then you have the Mandalorian Luke. So yeah, I think that how many people would cancel their pre-orders, Don and Gabriel, if they announced the season 2 Mandalorian now?
Well, here's the thing, Snowspeeder Luke, that uniform, that's such like an iconic look as well, especially when he's going up against, he blasts into the AT-AT. That's one of those, okay, I already have a Luke Skywalker, but it's Luke Skywalker in his flight suit and all that. So it's a totally different concept. Whereas, again, I have the Beskar Mando, but I bought the upgrade parts to convert them to the season 2. I bought the new thigh pad, the new knee pad. I've got the spear done, and I'm still working on the Darksaber. I have no need to get a season 2 because I essentially have season 1 or season 2, however I feel fit.
Well, that's how I feel as well, and that's why I think that what they're probably going to give us with this, I would think on the sidelines that they may have a Pedro Pascal head sculpt. That might be what says, okay, well now because what happens if they give us that Luke and they give us a Grogu with that Luke and they give us the R2, and then right in that scene he took off his helmet for Grogu. It kind of makes sense to me, don't you think, to kind of pose it?
I would presume that they're gonna wait until the next season of Mandalorian before you really, because he had that iconicness of taking his helmet off in front of everybody else. Now we have established in the storyline that his helmet is not as important as it was in the first 2 seasons. So going into the 3rd season, I think that helmet's going to come off a lot more, and you'll probably get that head sculpt around that time.
I'll just say this.
Go.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just for just a disclaimer for everybody else out there on my end. I don't collect a lot of these things. If I'm collecting anything, it's going to be mobile suits and Gundams. I come on here as just the nerd and the film guy because I do a lot of film stuff. I'm in movies and film on a lot of these productions. So that's where my realm is. So if I know anything about what's going to be coming up, it's going to be because of the films and where they're coming from.
Yeah, so I just got.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh.
So I gotta build this bad boy.
Yeah. So for me, it was I just, we got real grade. Let me.
Oh yeah, I've got some Hexagare, and I've got some 30-minute mission kits too.
Yeah.
Which we're giving away on the channel in a little bit, by the way.
Nice. That's awesome.
So even my camera, even for me, my camera and everything, I've got a manual lens on here. 30, or I think I have the 35 millimeter f1.8. So like all of this stuff that you guys are like, hey, what about them returning these things or canceling their pre-orders? I'm not pre-ordering anything. To be honest, if I'm pre-ordering something, it's going to be for camera gear, especially setting up for like Miniature Heroes with Nat and that whole endeavor.
Yeah, I heard about that endeavor. That sounds really. I think he was talking about putting that on a different channel or something, like doing a separate one.
You'll definitely, yeah. It's gonna have its own episodic series going out on YouTube and stuff like that. But Archetype, which is my production company, will be doing all of the behind the scenes. So showing off how we shot everything, how we lit everything, all of the lights and everything that I use, the camera that I've got like right now, the macro lens, like how it's all just put together is really going to be on Archetype's end. And then for geeking out and stuff is going to be for the promotional stuff and where we put everything out. So yeah, I can definitely attest to where the filming and stuff is coming in and what's coming up on that regard. And who's like directing what and things like that. But as far as like who should buy what when, I think I would just be the insider trader, so to speak, on just the movies and the shows themselves.
Well, then maybe and I think Don, you mentioned it earlier, and I'm kind of don't know exactly what's going on here. So what is the delay? Is there a delay for Mandalorian season 3? I thought it was coming out in January, February.
All right, so sorry.
You go ahead, Don. What
Here's the issue. It's all because of Gina Carano's firing. Now, every show
there's a lot
that Filoni wrote was all intertwined. Rangers of the Republic was going to be Gina Carano's show. It was going to be her.
Yep.
And she was also potentially rumored to have a decent role in the book of Boba Fett.
Yep.
Since she was fired, every story has to be rewritten. They have to look for new characters. And like one of the rumors is Hera from Rebels will be replacing Cara Dune in Mando. But it's just a cascading effect because it's affecting every other show.
Right.
Wow.
In this line.
What a mess. What a mess.
And then again, all the major Disney World, Disney bloggers and all the insiders are saying it's going to cause an 18 to 24 month backlog on, because that's how long it's going to take to do rewrites, to get new cast, new characters, new sets designed, for the digital environment.
I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, as far as like if you're strictly just focused on Mandalorian, then yeah, you're going to have that backlog. But we've already got Cassian Andor that's already in post production, so that's going to be coming out.
The Obi-Wan series too, right? I mean, that one's in production, right?
Yeah, that's already in post. They've already
they actually did Obi-Wan film testing on the set of Mandalorian.
Yeah. So and also the workflow has actually changed since they introduced the new it's the new cyc walls, the new LED cyc walls that they have in production. I don't know if you guys know anything about those. This is my film nerdiness coming out here. I
did hear. I think I know what you're going to say, and then they kind of are able to really simulate like an environment. I'll let you talk about it. I think I know what you're talking about, like simulate an environment or something.
Yep. So what it is it's pretty much a 360-degree LED wall that also domes over the top of the set, and instead of you having to green screen. And put a whole bunch of green or a whole bunch of blue behind all of your actors. Instead, you literally just go into, you just build the world like a virtual reality, like in virtual reality.
Yeah, what's the game engine? It's called Unreal Engine.
It's Unreal. It's most of it's built out of Unreal. Yeah, Unreal Engine. So you literally just put the set in there, and everything exists in there. And one of the biggest benefits for that for Mandalorian, especially, was Mando's armor is highly reflective. So if you had green screen, all of that green would have reflected onto the armor. So instead you have, like Tatooine in the background. The Tatooine set's lighting reflects onto him, and you can minimalize how much lights that you have to bring into the set as well, and focus just what's in frame. The cameras sync up with everything in there as well. So if you change the focal length, it actually syncs in and messes with the focal length that's in the screen. So you move the camera, even if it's like highly focused and it's all out of focus on what they see, you'll see everything shift. And it's so cool that you don't have to go shoot, then send it out, then they have to add everything in and track anymore. You can just literally put the world in there.
Now, did they utilize that technology in The Mandalorian already? I mean, is that...
Yes, that's all that, but pretty much everything except for what you see in the main town in season 1. That I can't remember the name of the planet. Where we first meet Mando on the planet with the guild. Yeah, Navarro. On Navarro, everything that's exterior with that huge battle scene with all the stormtroopers, that's not in that psych wall. But I want to say at least 80% of everything else is in that psych wall. Even if Mando docks his ship onto that little space station, the only thing that's real there is just the back end of the ship. And then the rest of the ship is all digital.
I mean, the amount they can do about, in changing how they build sets and whatnot. I mean, it looks really darn good amazing. Too. I mean, I've seen some of that, but wow.
It's still a relatively new technology, the way they're doing it. I mean, there are certain scenes, especially in season 2, where you can kind of tell because there's a little bit of distortion, especially when Mando goes back to Navarro and they're around the area, around the IG-11 statue. There are certain areas you can see where there's almost like a distortion line, like a break line. I mean, it is noticeable, but at the same time, it's not distracting.
It's that kind of noticeable that you got to look for. I would say you have to unless you're not, because majority of the people and they really gear it off of majority of people who watch shows don't look for the highlighted details. They're just their focus is the Mando at that moment, not the fringe on the outside of the screen that might be slightly off. So in those little bits, they're not really worried about it, or they could actually bring it back into post and smooth it out again. But so this picture right here, this whole, everything that you see that's up on the top, that's all of this goes around the entire screen. And then even the top of it is LED screens.
It's crazy.
Everything. And I love it. Even Nat and I were talking about in Miniature Heroes, should we just get 2 curved 60-inch screens,
yeah,
and just put them around the outside of our set instead of doing green screen? The biggest problem for us on our end is that we can't sync up our cameras the way they do to Unreal Engine and actually perform that VR feat to make our backgrounds. So that's the biggest hurdle for us. But it's becoming more and more common. I've actually seen a few. There's maybe 3 studios in Atlanta. There's probably 3 studios in Atlanta. That
Admiral already, Jeff Blue Jeans. May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. He just popped up right there.
There's 3 studios in Atlanta that have already started adding their own LED cyc walls already. I wouldn't doubt if Pinewood Studios in Atlanta has already put at least one soundstage with enough gear for all of that for rental, because they make a lot of money on the renting of all that equipment. That's where a lot of that goes. It's just renting. They're not buying any of this. They just go in and rent it.
Now, Gabe, OG fan just asked, is the cyc wall the same as the volume?
It is, yeah. I'm the volume is what they called it, but it is technically just a wall. I say cyc wall just because that's the term that I'm used to with green screens, and it's usually just that little ramp that you see. That's about it. But yeah, the volume is what they called the main room where they had all the LEDs. Yeah. So good question. Any more on film? Otherwise, you guys can get back to your Hot Toys figures and who's pre-ordering what, because I'm not pre-ordering anything at the moment.
Yeah,
Well,
he's just a producer. Just a producer right now. So
yeah, it's going to be real interesting with these delays. You know what Hot Toys does, and we're talking about it all show. But still, at the end of the day, you got a lot. You know, like we're talking about, you still got a lot from the Bad Batch. You got the Book of Boba Fett that still coming out this year. You got the Mandalorian that they're not done making yet, and don't forget all the Clone Wars we've already discussed and prequel figures that tie into all this, so they can come out and forget about original trilogy. They can always do that. So there's going to be quite a few coming out.
Bill,
Gabe,
here's another
Gabe,
question. Sorry.
Hey Don, real quick, Gabe, remember when we were talking about how we wanted to put miniature heroes on a map with Disney? See, like, hey, Disney, look what we got.
Oh man! If Disney gives me that, first off, Disney would probably give me a cease and desist order first. They'd probably be like, "Hey, you guys, you're trying to make money off of this? No. We're just paying
It's fair use
those who work.
It's fair use priority. We're not trying to make money directly off it.
Exactly. It's
advertising
parody.
is a different story.
Yep, it's parody, and all of the money raised goes directly to paying just the professionals. They don't pay us. So there's no profit margin, and our little thing on that was, and we're going to attach ourselves to a charity. Do you not like charity, Disney? Because there's a 501c3 attachment there. And then if they're like, well, take it down, be like, yeah, do you really want us to take it down, or do you just want to give us a contract? And we'll go ahead and just make some more content for you guys to put up on there, and cut out any of the bad language.
I'll just tell you this. You don't want to go to war with the mouse. This is a company that has gone after funeral homes to have gravestones, like characters physically removed from children's gravestones. I am not joking.
Oh, no, I know you're not joking. The other day, I think you were talking about, you were going into copyright law, and I was like, oh, God, Don knows his stuff here, because it's kind of ridiculous. I really want Mickey Mouse to come out into Creative Commons. It's like you companies get 50. You already get 50 plus years plus you're recycling every, what is it, 25?
It depends on the cycle, but they're coming up again, and they're gonna tie it, especially with the pandemic and the amount of employees they have in Florida and California. They're gonna tie it into an economy issue, and Mickey Mouse will never. Well, let me say this: at least for the next 50, 60 years, that's what they'll probably try to set up for. So basically, kick this issue down the road for the next 2-3 generations, and then someone else can deal with it.
Yeah. So my issue with copyright is that it stifles creativity. If you think about how many versions of Dracula do we have, or vampires? How many versions of zombies do we have? Like there's so much that comes out of that because it's all in Creative Commons. Even H.P. Lovecraft's mythos and his Cthulhu tales and all that other stuff, that's all Creative Commons. So people can do whatever they want with it, and there's no legality to say you can't add this in there or take this out. If you keep your things for your profits, that I can understand. But at a certain point, let it go to the public, and let them make what they want to make. Because there's so many fan films that could have had some sort of profit.
And and here's the thing. A lot of that actually works as advertising for them.
Yeah.
And their characters.
Oh yeah.
So a lot. That's why with a lot of other companies that they don't complain a lot, because it's like it's almost like free advertising for them. So when you're talking about like, hey, they're going after, a kid's gravestone because it has Mickey Mouse on it or some type of logo. It's so like, the more that you see the McDonald's arches, the more you're going to want to maybe think about McDonald's. And the same thing with Disney and Star Wars and all these parodies or, any of this stuff. I think it's advertising for them.
Yeah, just some companies don't like how well others do.
Yeah.
Like there's a Star Trek fan film series fan film that fought CBS, and they
For
won.
Lieutenant XR?
Yep. I know those guys. They're is it Jeff? I think he's down here in Atlanta. A couple of the people that work with Archetype, were I think Josh Duhan, who's a good buddy of mine. He was their on-set gaffer for their 2 days of shooting while before the pandemic kicked back up again. Like those guys have busted their ass to get to the point where they can make what they wanted to make and make it look as good as it's coming out to be. Like it looks pretty good, but they got sued.
Well,
They-
I mean,
they
that's
went through litigation
like
for
the
quite a
Star
while.
Wars franchise. Especially the rights, when you're talking about movies versus TV, then you had the merging Viacom, Paramount, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It is a crap show, especially then you now add the special contract with Bad Robot,
Yeah.
then the different timelines. Yeah, because Bad Robot is not supposed to touch anything that's outside the Kelvin timeline, but yet now they're working on Picard because the Picard's in the TNG universe.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I feel like I accidentally hijacked the channel. We went from talking about Hot Toys to film all of a sudden.
Yeah, and a copyright legal law.
And copyright legal law. So, if
It's
you guys
all
are
good,
looking for your copyright legal law, please say Don, Gabe, Aries, and Nat afterwards in the lobby.
Okay, so to get us back into Hot Toys, Craig Young just asked, asked, which figure do you think will release next in HK? The Spidey 1/4 scale?
HK is in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, that's Hot Toy lingo. Or 1/6 scale lingo.
I feel like that should have been out already, but I don't know why I'm thinking that. But
Just trying to think. There hasn't been any rumors or speculation heavily the past couple of days. Usually when there's a release imminent, you start to see the rumors from multiple channels and multiple people. There's been nothing.
Star Wars. Well, I think this is possible. I mean, what's next for Star Wars? I mean, you got Rex, Kylo, and Rey, right?
Now there is talks that there was rumors that Rex was supposed to be coming out early.
I hope so. I could definitely see that. I mean,
that was the last big rumor that I heard that was supposed to be released. Yeah,
I could see that as being a situation, one of those rare situations where Rex is released, or and you see the pictures of the pallets, and then 12 hours later you get an email from Sideshow, hey, the shipment is going to be in stock on the 9th. Make sure your credit card information is right by the 7th. If they're talking about moving it up, I see that more as they're moving up the U.S. release rather than just the general overall release.
Yeah, I can concur with that. And then, really after that, you got Rey and Dio, you got the Rise of Skywalker figures, Kylo, and I think after that, it's we're getting ready for Ahsoka, Clone Wars Mall, the 501st, and that whole batch.
Yeah, and Lando. I think Lando's October, right?
I think Lando's next year. I wish it was October, or maybe they changed it. I thought it was like April of 2022. I could be wrong.
Did they push back the Tony Stark time suit?
No, I think that one's still coming out.
So I don't know, man. They might bring out the Tony Stark time suit next as well. Like, okay, so it's the HK 1/4 scale Spidey. That one needs to come out as well. It's either that one or the time suit Tony. But then there was, like I said, there was talk about the Captain Rex coming out early.
Yeah, I think that one is going to come out early.
If he does come out, he's going to wreck it.
He's gonna wreck it.
That's all my contribution for that one. I'm sorry.
he's gonna wreck it.
Lando's March
of 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But now there was talks. I think Justin mentioned it in his live stream that Cyborg is maybe up for release.
So DC.
Yeah, because here's the situation with that. Ultimately, HBO is not the one calling the shots. AT&T owns HBO, and apparently, the guy who owns or is the primary shareholder, whatever the shot caller at AT&T, he likes the Snyderverse. So everyone's saying that HBO is not going to do it. HBO might not actually have a say in this because it's AT&T that's calling the shot and paying the bills. So
even
I'll
with
be completely honest
even with
you.
WB's hand in it.
Well, I mean, it's one of those weird issues, but ultimately AT&T, again, because I don't know if they bought the rights to or it's a specific deal, for an adaptation for TV, like a teleplay. But I'll just say this: the Snyder Cut redeemed the hell out of Cyborg, and I'll just say it adds a little weight to what he's been alleging. I'll just say that. Not necessarily, and I don't mean, as far as like, it seems like Joss Whedon just decided he's not going to be in the movie, in his version. And I don't.
Yeah, and just real quickly, going back to that Spider-Man, I was looking at Sideshow. That was supposed to be released last month. So
wow, so they might push the quarter scale version out then.
That quarter scale version was supposed to. I mean, I'm looking at it here. Spider-Man quarter scale figure by Hottoys, expected to ship February 2021.
So yeah, the quarter scale Spider-Man might be next. But OG fan just said that Justin said today on Fully Articulated that he thinks that we are getting a Cyborg figure. But that's the only thing that I gotta say about that is that because there's so much controversy with the actor, and that's probably the one of the reasons why they might not release a Cyborg.
But again, McFarlane Toys, or they somehow got a license to create a new version of Cyborg with the Ray Fisher head sculpt, and it's new because he's coming with the additional arms that go on his back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's a new mold, it's a new license.
So you're saying this could be a Toy Fair exclusive? Could be.
I'm just saying new toy licenses specific to Cyborg were done because the mold is brand new. So a Cyborg cartoon 2-pack. Oh my god.
Get out of here with this. That camera. What?
Yeah.
Not this man just said. I think we get a Sonic for a camera dude 2-pack.
Oh, comment of the night. That gets a gold star.
Hey, I think it would sell well.
It probably would. It probably would sell well. It's probably sell very well.
I mean, at least you could conceivably put Cyborg as, some like, Lobot's brother or something like that.
Why you keep bringing about Lobot? No.
You know what?
This,
I really believe
Lobot's
coming, Nate. Just for you.
No. Okay, look, I'll be fine with Lobot if we get ESB Han first. Hell, if we get the ESB Chewie 2-pack, that Chewie 2-pack with C-3PO, then yes, I'll be fine with Lobot coming out next, okay, or down the line.
Rooted hair or sculpted hair?
Rooted hair. Come on. Are we talking about Lobot?
I think they would do good with a sculpted hair Chewbacca, or maybe I don't know. I think they would do good.
That's some blasphemy there, bro. That's some blasphemy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's
Hot Toys. I know. It would be, yeah.
I mean, they also made a Lone Ranger figure and a Tonto figure, and I think they maybe sold 10 of those.
Really?
So, the Disney Lone Ranger from 10, 13 years ago. Yeah, it's like, yeah, those figures were like shell forming for years. They were basically giving those away.
Jeez.
You know,
Is there a bib Fortuna?
yeah, there you go. That's an idea for.
I've actually
Oh,
suggested
boy.
that maybe a potential. I have.
Boy.
But he had about as much
specifically
screen time as Solo Maul.
Right. Yeah. But
There you
but if you had a before, like maybe a before and after 2-pack.
How about a DX? Yeah,
That's never gonna
before and
happen.
after. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
never going to happen.
How about
Hell,
a bib Fortuna with your Lobot as a special bonus that.
Hey, just
Love you
remember,
too, buddy.
Bib Fortuna's coming with his Kenner staff now.
It's Kenner staff. Oh.
now I can see that. I can see that version. Yes, I can see that version.
You know, one of the comments before was earlier in the show said that you know, May the 4th, Sideshow's doing some type of convention for May the 4th be with you.
Mhm.
So you're probably going to get a release there. I would think maybe get a release for Star Wars Hottoys on that weekend or that celebration or whatever they're going to do.
That'd be
there.
perfect to get an ESP Han. That'd be freaking perfect.
Yeah. Or maybe that ESP Luke. That Bespin Luke.
Yeah,
that we've been waiting for.
$5.99 because they got the $5.97 MMS for Black Widow white suit, $5.98 for Taxmaster, and then $5.99 for ESB Luke or Han.
And then
Actually,
600 is going to be
the
Iron
Mark
Man
1.
or
The Mark 1. That's the talks. The Mark 1 is going to be 600.
I think ESB Luke has to come with some Ugnaughts.
Some Ugnaughts.
We're
That's not going to
just pull out all the stops. Just start naming off all these like creatures that you could add in with all of your packaging, and I think you'd be golden.
I mean, at that point, if they're gonna do a DX, bring the do like a display area where it's the stairs, or at least have the claw that brings up the Solo and Carbonite, almost like the Jazz display diorama. If they're gonna do a DX, like if they're gonna give Maul, a speeder bike, that's Bespin Luke, he needs the claw. And you have one of those extended clamps, so you can make it look like he's jumping into the vent system and grabbing the hoses.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, guys, the biggest question is going to be in the book of Boba Fett. Are we going to get? Is it possible that we're going to get the Max Rebo band? Come on now.
Oh God, this is starting to feel like literally Favreau and Filoni, they're watching Robot Chicken for some of their ideas.
Resurrect the Max Rebo. If Bib Fortuna was able to escape the Sarlacc, escape the barge explosion, Max Rebo survived the barge explosion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give us the Max Rebo band. Oh my goodness.
Or season 3, we'll see another one of those, call outs or whatever. We'll see Max Rebo. We'll see like a skull or something, stuffed anywhere. Like we see a Salacious in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, right? Yeah, they've done a great job with all that stuff, and yeah, we talked about even that. I don't think they're going to, but they had that R5D4 up on that they teased, and it's still up on Sideshow. Is coming soon, and the R5D4 was in the Mandalorian.
They can move it up to Mandalorian if they want to, with the battle damage mark.
And that was the other thing, guys. I know we all want the Luke and the R2, but the only reason if they gave us a droid 2-pack, because they already teased the R5D4, it says it's coming soon, and now he's in the Mandalorian. Could they be thinking, hey, let's get a droid 2-pack because there's R2 and R5D4. There you go. I don't think they will, but it's possible.
Well, I'll just say this: if Sideshow still had the license to do 1/6 Star Wars, they'd absolutely be trying to do it with Disney. Because they already have the molds for all the R series.
No, this would be Hottoys, Dom, like on Sideshow.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just saying. But I was just saying, given if Sideshow still had the license and they could do it, we'd already have these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, as far as an art like the R5, absolutely, because all they got to do is change the upper dome. That's really all they have to do, and maybe just reworks on the opening panels. I mean, it's as far as R&D production, they only got to create a new mold for the top dome. That's it.
I mean, I think it would do. I don't know. I think it would do pretty good.
I mean, but for something like that, you're going to need to have one of those holographic pieces with the light up function, so it look in a map piece. Just like the 2-pack Boba, the dirty one. I wouldn't be surprised, later down the line we see, there's a port that has an LED that you can put, that has the little Mando writing script in it, his codex or whatever they call it, his chain code.
I don't know.
Who's the woman in the Mandalorian? It was in season 1, season 2, where R5D4 showed up that watched Grogu. What's that character's name again? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So what if they gave us her with R5D4?
I don't see that happening.
With some
Amy Sedaris? No.
With some pit droids?
I could see the pit droids happening.
The pit droids would be cool.
Like with R5, I definitely see pit droids could happen.
Now that can work with the pit droids with R5. Then it'd be like, okay, let me pick up this R5, get some pit droids. Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. If Hot Toys cheated us out with the Gunk droid and the Jawa 2-pack, they cheated us out with that price. They're not gonna do that for us for the R5. They're probably gonna come out with the R5 with the 2 little droids, but that's it. Not the other girl for her name. Name escapes me again.
They'll just swap her out for Lobot just for you now.
Get out of here with Lobot, man. If you keep talking, Lobot's gonna be like Beetlejuice. You keep saying his name, he's gonna pop up.
Just pop in all of a sudden.
Yeah, as a pre-order. Okay, Hottoys just announced. Hottoys just announced Lobot. I was like, the hell is this? For $250. Speaking of, okay, people are complaining about the price now, guys, for these Hot Toys. How do you feel about this? $250 for right now for Winter Soldier with barely any accessories, borrow accessories from the original set of figures. How do you feel about the price now these days?
What's the usual price? Let me. Because as the person who doesn't buy these things, what is the normal price for something?
I'd say something like this. Maybe 2 years ago, this would be maybe $231 to $235.
So you got a $20
pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, and now it's going for $249 to $259, depending on what store in the U.S. you're getting it from.
So that's.
That's
a 10%. That's about a 10%.
Well, no, I mean, 25. Yeah. I mean, again,
about it's even less than that. Yeah, I think it's less.
Well, it's not like a standard like 3. You're not just doing like 3% on the inflation on it. It's not just generally going up. You're actually ramping it up.
No, it's about 10%. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we talked about it a little bit earlier in the show, and it's unfortunate that some of these prices have to go up. I'll bring up like Hasbro did it with the Black Series very recently and had to raise those prices, and it would have been great if they could stay at $19.99, $18.99, $20 forever, but what was not going to happen. And I think that even with smaller companies like Hot Toys, they have to deal a lot with there's a lot when you're talking about just production and planning, capacity and scheduling and commercializing some of these figures and engineering. There's a lot of protocols in place, and that costs a lot of money right now to have the right COVID-19 protocols in place to keep the workers safe and to keep things moving and to keep operations running. And those costs have to go somewhere. And for a corporation or an operation like Hot Toys, they need to, in order for them to be able to stay afloat. I really don't think that they're necessarily sticking it to us. I think that they're just in a situation where, okay, we need to, the money has to come from somewhere, and we're going to put it on the consumer. For toys that are this expensive, collectibles that are this expensive, like 10% during a time like this, it's unfortunate. I don't like it, but I don't have a huge problem with it. And it's general inflation anyway, and the way the economy is right now, it was gonna happen anyway. Hopefully it can stay like this for a little bit and not continue to. I think people are a little worried, like how long is a $250 figure that used to be $230 or $235? How long before it's $435? Probably a long time. Long time. I don't think you have to worry about that. But I think right now in the situation we're in, costs have to come from somewhere, and they are paying. These COVID costs, these COVID tests and protocol, they cost a lot of money.
Well, follow up question then on that is from the guy who doesn't really purchase these. How much of the increase was actually affected by the tariffs that got put in place?
None.
They
suspended them because Hottoys. It's because it's the weird thing.
I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about like beforehand when the tariffs.
No, because Hottoys is based in Hong Kong. Hong Kong
Right.
is not in mainland China. Hong Kong is technically
okay.
It's a special economic zone.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's why all the stuff that's happening in Hong Kong now with the Chinese government, that has the potential to affect business. Because again, Hong Kong was technically exempt from a lot of those tariffs.
Okay.
Because Hong Kong used to be governed by the British government until 97.
Right. Okay.
There was a specific agreement for 50 years, which isn't being followed now. That's a different story. But yeah, they're economically, or they were economically different than mainland China.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That answers that question.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Again, these are hot toys. Again, the key word in that is toys. It's not medicine. It's not vital supplies. It's not food, clothing. In the United States, you can't, basically, you can't raise the price of, essentials in America. You can't price gouge. Well, again, toys aren't essential. I mean, so essentially it's the situation. Their costs have gone up. They're going to produce, the same amount of figures at the same quality. We're going to have to pay more. And again, like I keep saying,
I don't know,
if you
Don,
want to play, you have to pay
that.
and you have to be prepared. And again, the way the global market is right now, I mean, you have ships that have been at the port of Los Angeles in a backlog for 3 weeks waiting to offload all their cargo.
Right.
I mean, and it's to the point we're at that weird point where the pandemic's still going on, but at the same point, part of life is returning to normalcy, and they're intertwining, and they don't know how to react.
Right.
Yep.
Donna, I think I'm going to have to agree with the OG fan right here that toys are not like you're questioning they're vital. I think we should start a lobbying group that says that toys are part of mental health. And that they are essential, and then you can have your price reductions.
Okay.
Gabe, sign the papers. Let's go.
Sign the papers. Let's get the paperwork out. We're starting a lobbying group.
Craig brings up a good point there about trying to increase their profits too. So I think what Don's saying and what I'm saying, they're trying to, materials are going up and costs for true. COVID protocols are going up, but they also have their business. They'd also need to make more profit. They need to continue to. If you're not going up, then you're going down. Right. You can't just stay flat. So I think there's a lot going on. I certainly don't think that they're just increasing it, going, haha, let's just increase it because it's great. I think there's a lot of variables. Anyway,
OG fan, you just yep. I think.
Why is this starting to feel like instead of like a commercial for Zantac or Valium, it's a commercial for Hot Toys?
That's what it is. It's like, hi, I'm Gabe, and I suffer from depression. And what makes me get through the day is a hot toy.
Are you suffering 1/6 scale withdrawal? Consult your retailer today.
1/6 scale withdrawal. Okay, another follow-up question for
Hot
it.
Toys cures depression. It's official, boys.
Yep. How much of these? What is the? Do you guys know the percentage of like silicone that's in the Hot Toys, or do they use silicone for these? Because silicone, as far as like on the tech world, that's in high demand right now because we have a shortage.
All right, as far as bodies, that's mainly where you would see any silicone, and that would be in really, really low numbers, especially with figures that would need seamless joints. So, again, in Hot Toys, you're not necessarily going to see those. Again, I mean, I don't even think Shuri had, Shuri had a joint, a visible joint, right? She wasn't seamless. But now, like, you have other companies like Sideshow, they'll work with a company called Phison, where they actually have full seamless silicone bodies that have a full, like, endoskeleton inside of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, and those are heavy. Like, some of those bodies weigh like 1.5 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Due to the amount of silicone and the metal skeleton.
Gotcha. Nat, I think your audience is demanding that we make an infomercial for Hot Toys as a mental health.
Apparently. How much are we spending a year? But on average, $15K on Hot Toys.
Craig says, can you claim Hot Toys as a medical expense? Well,
hey, give me enough time to look the IRS regs, I can find a way to claim it.
Yeah, if our lobbying works correctly, then you'll be able to claim it every single year.
Oh man.
Hey.
Oh gee, right. Let's see. Prescription.
Wait, is OG is the official doctor? I didn't know this.
I said this is like Mr. Don. I see that you're suffering from depression. I'm going to go ahead and prescribe you 1/6 scale. Mandalorian. Here you go.
Oh wait, that's sold out. The Deluxe
sold out.
Exactly. Oh, and it's tax deductible. And then you got like Martin Sheen coming up with your little Hot Toys card. Don't pay full price.
Don't. Sounds like
the
early days of marijuana, like medical marijuana. You just got to go up to the door and they're opening it up. There's a case full of them. Which one you want?
Oh my god.
Once people are going to be bringing them on the plane because OG says my service hot toy. They're going to be bringing up planes now. Just this is my service Grogu.
Well, I'll be honest. Oh god, I was at
501st. Call me in the morning.
I gotta call OG in the morning. I got 2 on the way.
I went to TFCon in 2015 in Charlotte, and I was literally taking Transformers in my carry-on. They TSA made me open and show them like the little blaster guns to ensure they weren't real.
They weren't real blasters?
I'm serious. They made me open the stuff out and because it had a little mini knife too. Yeah, they are literally that anal retentive.
Oh man.
You're like a 33-year-old guy at the airport. They're like, "Why are you taking toys out of your luggage?"
Now you have a third channel you could do, Nate. Dr. Nate's Hot Toys Talk.
Dr. Nate.
Get out of here with this. Actually, it might even do better than Geek It Out, because what's happening in the Hot Toys right now, right? In channels that are growing quick, especially yours, 6L Cantina, is market value. Market value. Looking at the market of Hot Toys and how well they're doing, those channels are growing like crazy. It's like hotcakes for those channels.
Yeah, it's all the GameStop stock buyers wondering what to do with their time and their money now that that the game's over. I mean, honestly, it feels like that. It's that type of attitude is transitioning over to Hot Toys specifically, because it's almost like speculators. You have people that are buying stock up, and they just want to sit on it, especially like heavy infantry, Mando. We saw that link yesterday. I'm going to be honest. I looked at that link. I was tempted to buy another one for $350, sit on it for a little while, and just use it as trade
I'm
bait or.
actually surprised you didn't buy it. Shoot, that was the cheapest Mando I've
$350?
seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
shipping,
but
or?
at the same point, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't need the money, and I I do believe in karma, and that same thing is like, I don't want to, there could be a situation, down the road. I want something, and it's the last one in stock, and I get it at retail or just above. I think things in life work out; they balance in the long run, and I've already got one, and like I said, I don't need money, and I don't especially have the need to flip something that so many people want for even a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous game too with these toys. I mean, I get it. It's like, hey, boy, I can pick this up and scoop it up and sell it down the road, and sometimes that's a good gamble. But I think Qui-Gon said this in the Phantom Menace. I mean, sometimes when you gamble, my friend, you lose. And
Yep.
with this market and Hot Toys, it's not a guarantee that these figures are going to stay at a high price, or there's not going to be some kind of market crash or some type of. I just think it's, sometimes at the right moment, it's like, hey, you know what? I see this figure here. I got the money. I know it's going to go up. It's going up. I got a real scoop on it. I'm going to get two. I'm going to sell. Sure, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think though, but if you're trying to do that, as a way to grow your collection, it's just a little dangerous. I find it better to like we originally spoke about, when you're buying figures, just don't be so attached to them. I can let it go in the future, and try and invest soundly in it, and that way you're able to hopefully sell it for a little bit more, so that you're able to keep up with the inflation. And like we're just talking about inflation, it's like we brought it up before. If you bought, and I'm not picking on the Jet Trooper, I really am not, but I'm just using it as an example. You buy that right now, you're going to lose. You're not going to get your money back, and then Hot Toys is going to continue to increase prices. What about if you try and unload it 3-4 years from now? And it's just like, man, I'm kind of wasting money, and I'm not growing that way. So, but yeah, I mean, it is a little bit of a gamble with these things. They're not. It's not like an annuity or CDs or stocks or bonds.
Oh, okay. I mean? I was curious about that. Like, what is your usual return for, like, or percentage of the figures that you collect that actually has a increase in value as you bought them? Like, how many of your figures would you say, like, if you had 100, if you had to pick your top 100, I don't know if you guys have 100, or top 50, how many of those actually have increased in value over time?
I know with mine, the Hot Toys I have, every one that I have, if I was going to sell it, I know I would get my money back and more.
Yeah,
but
same here.
That's because I was very focused on making sure that I didn't buy into hype. Now, I did on a couple, like the Solo Maul, a couple of others. I wasn't too worried, though, honestly, about Solo Maul, because it's Darth Maul. And I knew, Don knows, Nate knows, they didn't make a whole lot of those. That was kind of a little bit of an easy. Now, could I have bought two of those? Sure, but I was just like, it's so much effort. Can I make,
Yep.
I bought one for me, and I knew, okay, I'm probably going to get more on this when I want to sell it in the future. But it's not going to be like the Jet Trooper. I'm going to be fine. But yeah. But for mine, yeah, I think I've done pretty well. I don't know what the rest of you, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well with my figures as far as like prices are concerned with them. I like I say, and I tell this to a lot of collectors out there. Don't jump into the Grail figures too loosely. Don't get into the hype as far as like, oh man, I need this Grail figure. I missed out on it. Don't, just calm down. I know there's gonna be times where you feel like, dude, I missed out on getting this figure. Oh, I'm just getting into collecting. I really want this particular figure. Just take your time with things. There's certain figures that you do jump into the Grail train, like the Terminators. those are 400 plus. Okay, it makes sense that you might have to drop 400, maybe 450, 500 sometimes on on the Terminator figures because that's the going price for them. At the resale price. That's been the resale price for nearly 5-6 years. Okay, so I understand that, but then some of these other figures like the Darkseid Anakin going for 500, 700. If you really enjoy this figure, this character, this Darth Vader version, right? If you want to drop that $700, $500 for it, okay, but there is another Anakin on the way, and then we got the Darth Vader show Kenobi show coming out with more Anakins. So, and also the fact that you can take your time with things because most of my Grails I bought that were sold out, I got for close to retail. You know why? Because I took my time and was hunting properly. You gotta hunt. You gotta use social medias. You gotta keep your eyes on the ball. As far as like, if something pops up for a sale for a good price, go for it because it will help you out in the long run if you play the weight game.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. Like people like is there something wrong if I bought Darkseid Anakin or a Grail figure for $700-800? No, I mean there's not. It's your money, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. And sometimes that's part of collecting. You come into collecting late. Sometimes you're going to pay a premium, but just understand that with these Hot Toys, it's not sometimes exactly the same as some other collectibles where there's a certain amount of documented, limited amount of pieces that are made. And it's going to absolutely hold that value, for some decades to come. Or even not even those collectibles. You could look at vintage Star Wars mint on card figures from the 70s and 80s. And, you could tell that for instance, a vinyl Cape Jawa or a mint on cards, droid series Boba Fett is going to hold its value. And you could be like, okay, I just spent, $3,900 on a mint on card droids Boba. Are you going to be able to resell that again for $3,900? Yeah, probably. But, Hot Toys is still relatively new. You go buy a Darkseid Anakin, there's nothing wrong with it. $700, $750, you're going to be able to sell that and make money off that or get your money back in 2-3 years?
Okay.
Probably. But is it a guarantee? Do we have enough data? I don't know. So you just have to consider a lot of those things. And you bring up a good point, Nate. For me, I don't have the Grand Moff Tarkin. I really want the A New Hope Grand Moff Tarkin. But I really think that with how hot Star Wars is and all the upcoming content the next 3, 4, 5 years,
right,
between the Bad Batch and between Rogue One, they've already reissued. Came out with 2 figures for Rogue One out of the blue with some troopers. I think they're going to come out with another figure with a Peter Cushing head sculpt. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on it. Spend the retail than rather spend $500 on. Not that there's anything wrong with it. And if I really wanted it, I would get it. But, with some figures I look at, it's like, hey, you know what? I'll wait. I'll go ahead and buy 2 figures right now for the price of that. And remember, with a Darkseid Anakin, you can literally get 3 figures at retail for the price of that figure right now.
Will asks, will I convert? Meaning, will I convert to buying Hot Toys? Probably not. Probably not. Not because I don't like Hot Toys, but because Nat holds my collection for me.
Wait, what?
Yep.
What are you saying? No, what are you saying, man? What are you trying to say?
Nat invests all of his money in my Hot Toys, so I don't need to buy any. But no, I'm more of I really am more of a film guy. So majority of my, if I'm not actually like investing in the stocks and things like that, then a lot of my stuff goes into equipment, lighting, things that I know. Well, I also will use in my work and in my job. So if I had a lot of disposable income, then I'm very frugal. Or cheap, as some might say. But
yeah, for some people and some collectors that have like a ton of disposable income and money is not an issue at all. I mean, that's great. I mean, You could just, I think there was, I don't even remember what channel this was. I saw it. There was some guy, I don't even know what it is, that was buying Hottoys and then reviewing it and then smashing it up with a sledgehammer and using lighting it up on fire and putting up all these figures and stuff like that. And I think it was just more for, getting viewers and stuff like that. But I'm like, oh man, that's kind of an expensive. Yeah, we do this figure after figure. I don't even remember what it was. I was looking at it a couple of years ago. It was kind of cracking me up.
We are supposed to be closing up, and we actually should have been closing up 4 minutes ago, but we were on a tangent. But for one last question, because one just popped up that was really juicy, and it was Sarah's question. How do you decide which ones to keep and which ones to sell?
Just say aesthetic. As you evolve, your collection evolves. So it's basically whatever you're feeling and how your display is, how you want to display your figures. You have some that you will never sell. You will take them to the grave, or you will donate them to your brother's kids or whatever. Then you have some that that, like was said before, you have no problem letting go because they'll be replaced with something else. There's no straight answer to it. It's all it's subjective, how you're feeling. Is there a new show or a new movie continuation? Did something change? Again, it's all subjective. It's all based on individual likes, dislikes. Some people might even have to sell because of financial situations. So, no situation is 100% the same. It's all carbon. Hey, you and carbonate.
Yeah, I get it.
How about you, Aries? How you feel about it?
I don't buy to sell. So I buy because I enjoy it, but I know that if I want to change my collection or my interests change or there's another line and be able to, to be able to afford it, I want to be able to buy to enjoy, but follow the hype enough so that I know what I'm getting into, how much it's costing me, and potentially if I do have to sell it, like Don was saying, whether it's for financial reasons or because I want to turn over my collection, and that I can get my money back and hopefully a little bit extra to count for inflation and some other things, then I feel like I'm in good shape. And then I really don't have to think about it, honestly. I just put it on the shelf. I enjoy it. I enjoy my collection. And then when the day comes, if the day comes, it's like, hey, I want to move this, I'm good. Now, are there times if I notice a trend within the secondary market where something's going awry or something is happening that I don't like, I can completely move out of that figure. And sometimes you have to look at that to know when to get out of a figure. For instance, I personally recently, not too long ago, I had every Black Series figure, convention exclusive, con exclusive, every Black Series you can have. I sold them all. Not that I don't like them. I like them a lot, and I think it's great, and I think people should enjoy collecting them. For me, I was getting a fear with all of the ways Hasbro was handling the new photoreal technology and the reissues and the overabundance in the market and people collecting these like they are from the 70s and 80s, which, mind you, they're not. And they're not Hottoys or Sideshow or any of those lines where it's big, high premium figures at a big price point. I was like, hey, it's possible that these can be like the episode 1 3 3/4 figures, the Attack of the Clone figures, the Revenge of the Sith figures, the Power of the Jedi figures, the Power of the Force orange card, the Power of the Force green card, Shadows of the Empire. Let me tell you guys, I had them all, and I was chasing those figures, and I spent so much money, and I lost a ton in that regard. So I'm not saying Black Series is going to go that way, but I think it's possible. So I got out of it. And so I think you just kind of need to take a look at things and keep an eye on it. And do I love those figures? I love them, but I'm not so attached because that I can't let it go. I can let it go. It's something I enjoy, but I don't enjoy it as much as like my family or something.
You know, I was in that same boat with Funko. I'm down at $20,000 of Funko Pops, and I only spent like maybe half of that or a quarter of that, but they've risen in price. So I haven't lost money in Funko because they've risen in price over the years. But I wanted to get into something better, and I wanted to get into Hottoys, right? And then I started like, you know what? Gabe and I started like thinking like, hey, let's do a show with these, and that's where Miniature Heroes has come into play, and that's why Gabe has been working on getting all these equipments just to get this show rolling, Miniature Heroes. And
even my Gundams have been part of just Miniature Heroes. I'm test shots and things because I don't have Nat's collection, or sorry, my collection.
Yeah, your collection, yes. But the way I see it, I've heard, the one thing I will say is that I heard a lot of collectors, when they experience this, where they're trying to figure out what to sell, what to buy, when a new line comes out, a particular line, like the EndGame line, I know a lot of collectors sold their Infinity War line just to pay the initial EndGame line pre-orders. And that's one way to look at it. If you've already seen your Infinity War line, you collect it, you're like, you know what, I'd rather jump into a new line. Sell the line that you don't have any much love anymore, and move on to the next, and use that line to sell those. Now, if you really need to sell your figures for medical reasons, that's on you to pick out what you want to help you with your medical and your financial insecurities. But as far as like Hot Toys is concerned, if you're trying to figure out what to sell, if you don't have that love for that particular figure anymore, and you can tell that, you know what, I know someone else will appreciate it better than I would, sell it, and then use that money to pay the next figure.
Yeah, and I'll just say this too, as far as like the weirdness, like you were just mentioning all the black figures you sold, and you lost a lot of money. I had a random, one day I went to Walgreens, I found the Black Series General Obi-Wan and in the Stormtrooper, Clone Trooper armor. So I had that, and I'm like, I'm just clearing out a bunch of stuff. Threw it on Mercari. Got $107 for it. It's just like there's no, especially with the Black Series. Sometimes I think there's no rhyme or reason to the pricing structure.
It's a little. Yeah, you said $107. I mean, there's stuff that's like, no, you're exactly right, and I don't know exactly where it's going. Do I? I think there's going to be some pieces that are highly sought after. I put a lot more faith in Hasbro with the vintage collection. I think they've got something really, really good there with that line, and especially for the future. I think they got. I mean, like I said, the Black Series is good. I just don't know. They've come out with the only line that I really see from long-standing that has really garnered a lot of longevity was the vintage collection. They're coming out with the vintage collection again. But there's been prior lines where it's like you enjoy them and you have them, and that's fine. And these figures aren't as expensive as Hot Toys. I mean, you pick especially when they used to have the 3 3/4 besides the vintage collection and whatnot. But it does add up, and people don't realize that. It adds up. I mean, I'll tell you, when I was collecting Black Series, between making orders on all over the place in different shops, I was spending more on Black Series than I do on Hot Toys. I mean, especially, the last couple years have been insane. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, it can get pricey. It's a lot more than just one figure, and you can get sucked in with a smaller line, a less expensive line that you need every figure in that line. You need every figure. You don't have this figure yet.
Hey,
Aries, and then for a lot of money.
Hey, Aries, we're gonna have to cut this off at this point. We will continue that on your next stream Saturday, because I definitely would like to talk more about how would people get into trying to keep what they keep which figures they want to keep and which figures they want to sell. But I know we have more subjects for Saturday, but that could be our continuation then. At the moment, At the moment, we're at 2 hours and 44 minutes in. We peaked at close to 40, or we hit 40 at one point. That's freaking awesome.
Almost double.
Yeah.
We did pretty good today. Man of Hot Collectibles, I'm sorry, but we got to go. I know you came in a little late. That's why I extended it just a tad bit for you to enjoy at least maybe 10 minutes of us talking. But
the producer had to tell him to wrap it up.
Gabriel was telling me to wrap it up like freaking 20 minutes ago.
It's my fault.
But all right, guys, I really enjoyed our discussion today. We really got into a lot of stuff. We moved around a lot of stuff too. I'm surprised we hit up a lot of stuff today. But it was a lot of fun. We were peaking at near 40, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Absolutely.
Aries, it was great having you in. Gabriel, great having you in for producing for the first time. It was okay. It was okay. We know we gave you a hard time.
I'll
You know
better.
who's
Get
also
better.
okay? Lobot.
Get out! No,
Lobot.
stop.
Lobot. That's it. Wrap it up.
No, stop,
Get
Brian.
some
how we
Lobot
end. We end
footage
on
ready for
Lobot.
the next one, Gabe.
No Lobot.
Listen, we're gonna add the
Later.
potential
We're
of
ending it.
Lobot for
No,
Saturday.
we're ending it down. No Lobot. Bye.
Geek It Out exclusive 1/6 scale Lobot.
I'll put it in the